Chapter 1468. Bayfish Circle is close to the sea. The air here is good and the environment is beautiful. It is indeed a good place to travel and retire. And White Tiger Pagoda is in the sea of Bayfish Circle, 30 nautical miles away from the coastline. White Tiger Hall is hidden in an illusion. Ordinary people cannot find it. Only characters like Dragon Lady can lead the way. The two of them rented a small boat and under the cover of night, sailed 30 nautical miles and arrived at the location of the target. Is it at the bottom of the sea? Borrowing the moonlight, Li Fan looks at the turbid sea. He remembered that the pagoda where he met White Tiger's sister was hidden under the water. You are thinking too much. Dragon Lady rolls her eyes at Li Fan and points at the surface of the water, for Saint Pagoda is hidden between heaven and earth. Without my guidance, you cannot see it. It is just a pagoda, why is it hidden so deep? Li Fan is a bit disdainful, hiding, are you afraid someone will attack? You do not know how strong the four sages were in the past. Even if you and Muronging use the yin-yang dragon phoenix sword together, you will not be able to defeat one of them. So strong. Didn't they still get defeated by humans? TSK, then you also do not know how strong the first generation Shangfang sword is. Dragon Lady reminds Li Fan, go and regret it. You have not even developed the true power of Shangfang sword. This sword has the power to split the heavens and earth, killing deities above and demons below. Even if it is the four sages, they will retreat when they see this Shangfang sword. Isn't it just sword returning technique? Li Fan coldly snorts, what is the point of borrowing the power of those bastards? When practicing martial arts, the strong one is yourself. How can you borrow the power of a divine weapon? That is inferior. You're so stubborn. There are so many cheats, why have you never used them? What are cheats? Shangfang sword. Or true immortal arts? Li Fan chuckled, these are all things that don't belong to me. Even if I use them and practice them, what's the point? I, Li Fan, believe in my own strength. My yin-yang reverse training can still beat those people from sky beyond skies. You really know how to talk big. The Dragon Lady scoffed, do you really think you're invincible? You'll see how powerful the human realm upon heavens is. Cultivating yin and yang in reverse is just a martial art. Can a martial art be more powerful than an immortal art? I would like to try. As Li Fan spoke, he took a deep breath. The surrounding heaven and earth essence chi was instantly sucked into the air, making his essence chi more abundant and his mind clearer. Li Fan gathered his internal energy in his eyes. He could faintly see that there seemed to be an invisible ripple on the surface of the sea in front of him. The shape of these ripples was like a tall tower. Ha! Li Fan stored a mouthful of essence in his dantian and shouted in front of him. A wave of chi immediately rushed out and hit the ripple. In the blink of an eye, as if a transparent coat had been torn off, 100-meter tall tower appeared in front of the two of them, quietly floating on the surface of the sea. The Dragon Lady looked at Li Fan in shock. He actually broke through the illusion with a single roar. Isn't it powerful? Li Fan looked at the Dragon Lady with a smile, but the Dragon Lady stuck out her tongue at him. I don't know if you're powerful or not, but once you enter the White Tiger Pagoda, you should know how powerful that person inside is. What's there to be afraid of for a fake saint? Although he's a fake saint, I've said it before. In this sacred tower, his power can be limitless. Tonight, you should properly receive the test. I hope that you can come back alive. Speaking of which, didn't they also want your life? Li Fan asked, why aren't you afraid? I naturally have my own way of escaping. As the Dragon Lady ate her snacks, she casually replied, don't look down on me, I can also use the Shangfang sword. What? Li Fan was a little shocked. This weapon that was used to deal with holy beasts could actually be used by the Dragon Lady. After all, I am the instructor of the user of the Shangfang sword. If I don't know how to use it, how can I do it? The Dragon Lady waved her small fist. Don't underestimate my strength. Yes, you're the strongest. Let's go in then. Li Fan lightly jumped from the boat and landed in front of the White Tiger Pagoda's door. But before Li Fan could jump over, the two tiger statues in front of the door suddenly came to life and pounced towards Li Fan. Humph! Li Fan was extremely disdainful. On his back, there was a tattoo of an overlord subduing a tiger. The moment the two stone tigers pounced in front of Li Fan, he suddenly moved. Fight the tiger. Two fists hit the top of the stone tiger's head, directly smashing the two stone tigers. Li Fan easily landed on the steps in front of the stone door, and the shattered stones fell into the sea. The Dragon Lady followed behind and landed beside Li Fan. Not bad, I feel that your skills have improved again. That's right. Li Fan retracted his power into the Taiji Dantian. Don't underestimate my yin and yang reverse training. Martial arts is martial arts, it can't be compared to immortal techniques. The Dragon Lady poured cold water on Li Fan, especially in the hands of the four sages. Each of them has a divine weapon. Without the Shangfang sword, it will be very difficult for you to deal with them. I don't believe that I can't do it without a divine weapon. Have you forgotten about the nine-tailed divine fox? The Dragon Lady reminded Li Fan. Furthermore, undying people like Jiang Feng and imperial concubine Zhou can only be killed with the Shangfang sword. The divine weapon is indeed powerful, but I also have a way to deal with these people. As Li Fan spoke, he stretched out his hands, pushed open the heavy stone door, and walked into the pagoda. This White Tiger Pagoda is filled with stone statues. Li Fan looked at these stone statues and felt that they were lifelike. Is the master of the pagoda an artist? Li Fan could not help but ask, why are there stone statues everywhere in the pagoda? This is not an artist. The Dragon Lady reminded Li Fan, he is a person who likes to play chess. These are all created chess pieces. Chess pieces. Yes, look at them lifelike, right? Because they are all real people. The Dragon Lady reminded Li Fan, holy shit, these are all real people? Li Fan was surprised. Medusa. More or less. White Tiger's weapon does have this ability. The Dragon Lady nodded. This White Tiger comrade thinks highly of herself. You have to be careful, she will bring you a pleasant surprise. Just as they were speaking, a stone statue suddenly turned its head and looked at Li Fan. Are you the Shangfang sword? White Tiger is talking to you. The Dragon Lady continued to eat her snacks. Hurry up and answer her. More or less. Li Fan stuffed his hands in his pockets and looked at the speaking stone statue in front of him. You are the White Tiger successor, right? Don't hide your head and show your tail. How about coming out and having a chat? Chapter 1469. Do you want to communicate with me face to face? The stone statue looked at Li Fan and seemed to be smiling, which made Li Fan feel very strange. Then you need to pass the White Tiger Pagoda's test. In this space, everything about you will be controlled by me. I am the White Tiger and I control wisdom. As he spoke, the surrounding stone statues suddenly moved. Soon, a huge chessboard appeared in front of Li Fan. Many stone statues suddenly moved and lined up in front of Li Fan, blocking his path. Pass my chess game first. The White Tiger's voice seemed to come from a distant place. It was somewhat ethereal and solemn. Just from the voice, Li Fan could not tell if it was a man or a woman. The voice seemed to have been processed and was especially neutral. However, the dragon girl seemed to mean that the white tiger's successor was also a woman. Be careful, these stone statues have an array formation that is very difficult to deal with. The dragon girl reminded Li Fan before retreating to the side. Hee hee, little dragon girl, you actually dare to come to my pagoda. The white tiger's voice sounded again. This time, it seemed like all the stone statues were speaking together. Their voices echoed left and right, but it was unknown who was speaking. Killing you sacred beasts is my responsibility. Since you have delivered yourself to my doorstep, I shall grant you death. Oh right, you brat, you also have some dragon blood in your body, right? Just nice, I'll kill you too. That will depend on whether you have the ability to do so. Li Fan raised his inner strength and filled his body with vital energy, making him even more clear-headed and sharper. Everything around him seemed to be in his perception. The movements of the stone statues were also crystal clear and could not escape Li Fan's perception. You have to be careful. The dragon girl reminded Li Fan, don't underestimate the white tiger. She is very strong. I got it. Li Fan would not let his guard down. He looked at the stone chess pieces in front of him and began to think of a countermeasure. My stone statue has the strongest defense, and it also has some other effects. You will soon enjoy them. As he spoke, the chessboard suddenly expanded to the area beneath Li Fan's feet. In an instant, Li Fan felt that there was a powerful force around him that was pulling at the power in his body. Oh. Li Fan raised his eyebrows, you can actually absorb energy from my body. The white tiger statue can absorb energy from its surroundings. Dragon Girl had long since stood far away and warned Li Fan, you have to be careful. Don't be dragged down by the power of this stone statue. I have to seal my acupoints and fight again, Li Fan pondered for a moment. It was indeed a little tricky. At this moment, the 10 soldiers' stone statues took a step forward and thrust their spears at the same time towards Li Fan. Li Fan was prepared to retreat, but his power was being pulled, causing his movement to be somewhat hindered. 2 of the soldiers' spears had already stabbed in front of Li Fan, but they were slapped to the side by Li Fan's crane hand. In this array, I can't even use 10% of my strength. Because Li Fan had to control his internal energy, he was unable to use his full strength. He lifted his leg and kicked a stone statue, but he was pushed back 2 steps. Your defense is indeed not bad. My wisdom is so powerful, and my chess skills are also unparalleled in the world. It is absolutely impossible for you to pass through my chess array. Just as he finished speaking, Li Fan felt his vision become blurry. When his vision became clear again, Li Fan saw that he was standing on a huge battlefield. His surroundings were burning with the flames of war, and in front of him was a group of soldiers armed to the brim with killing intent as they looked at him. Be killed by my army. You foolish mortal. A person wearing a white tiger armor was sitting on a war horse far away, looking at him mockingly. Let's go, my army. At her command, more than 100 cavalrymen charged towards her. Their war horses were extremely fast, raising rolling smoke, and the spears in their hands were pointed at Li Fan. Facing this fast-charging army, Li Fan's gaze did not change. He suddenly thought of something, although he could not use his full strength, it seemed like he could use another method. Go to hell. The white tiger's laughter rang in his ears, and white light flowed on Li Fan's body. Soon, an armor identical to Zhang Fei's armor was draped over Li Fan's body. Wearing this Zhang Fei armor, Li Fan was like a small giant, standing in front of thousands of soldiers and horses. Li Fan used his inner strength to imitate Murong Ying's materialization, and actually created a replica of Zhang Fei armor. Li Fan had never seen other armors, so he could only imitate this set. He stretched out his hands, and powerful inner strength gathered again, and a huge snake spear appeared in his hands. Come, let me try the power of this three-kingdom system. As Li Fan spoke, he jumped, and instead of retreating, he advanced, quickly approaching the opposite army. A cavalryman had already arrived in front of Li Fan, and the spear in his hand stabbed towards Li Fan's chest. However, Li Fan laughed, turned around, and directly used the snake spear to send the cavalryman flying from his warhorse, piercing his chest, lifting him into the air, and then threw him away. Another two cavalrymen, one on the left and one on the right, attacked Li Fan from both sides. With a sweep of the snake spear in Li Fan's hand, the heads of the two cavalrymen were directly swept away. After wearing this exoskeleton armor, Li Fan's strength was indeed like a tiger that had grown wings. A pulley popped out from under his feet, and he ran wildly on the ground. At the same time, he constantly waved the snake spear in his hand, sending the cavalrymen in front of him flying, piercing, and cutting them in half. At this time, Li Fan's demeanor was really like a fierce general of the three kingdoms. Even if the enemy was thousands of soldiers and horses, he still killed 7 times. After 10 minutes, Li Fan did not know how many people he had killed. Those killed soldiers fell to the ground, but they did not bleed. Instead, they turned into gravel together with their warhorses and scattered around. These soldiers were not afraid of death. They were just pawns of the white tiger. However, the more Li Fan killed, the more ferocious he became. He did not know how many soldiers had fallen under his snake spear. I have to praise you. The white tiger's voice sounded again. In this array, you can still display such strength. It is indeed amazing. It's just that my great formation is stronger than you can imagine. With that said, the gravel that was shattered before suddenly rolled up and gathered together. Soon, another magnificent army stood in front of Li Fan again. At this moment, Li Fan was finally a little shocked. Fuck, is this considered cheating? Chapter 1470. Under the command of the White Tiger, the vast army gathered once again, readjusting their formation, arranging their troops, and rallying their troops. These soldiers surrounded Li Fan, blocking Li Fan so tightly that not even a drop of water could escape. Mortal, accept your failure. The realm beyond heaven has already issued an order to monitor you. It is not convenient for them to make a move, but I can. As long as I kill you, I might have the opportunity to ascend to the realm beyond heaven. The realm beyond heaven. Li Fan frowned. You know about the realm beyond heaven. Wait. Li Fan seemed to understand something. No wonder you did not appear when you suppressed the 9-tailed divine fox. So you have already become the dogs of the realm beyond heaven. Your words are really unpleasant. White Tiger's voice seemed to contain a hint of anger. The divine fox should have been released long ago. She should have completely destroyed this world. Humans have committed a great crime. The realm beyond heaven will send down the ultimate punishment sooner or later. Why don't you say a few more words? I am quite interested. Li Fan knew that the 4 sages had collectively betrayed the humans, but he wanted to know more. Let's talk about it when you survive. White Tiger waved his hand, and the army charged towards Li Fan again. With the formation that could absorb internal energy, Li Fan's physical strength would be exhausted sooner or later. Alright, I will let you see my yin-yang reversal. As Li Fan spoke, he suddenly let go of the snake spear. Then, he opened his hands and slowly closed them in front of him. The Tai Chi in his body suddenly reversed, and then Li Fan took a deep breath. The surrounding energy was suddenly pulled back by Li Fan. Not only Li Fan's energy, but also the energy contained in the stone statues. All of them were absorbed into Li Fan's body. However, Li Fan's yin and yang reversal also had its drawbacks. Li Fan could not absorb the energy of others for his own use. He was more like a filter. Either he refined the energy and returned it, or he exerted it on a third party. At present, the only third party was Dragon Girl, but she was blocked from the illusion, so Li Fan could not transfer his power to her. However, Li Fan already had a complete plan. His previous battle was to test the feasibility of this plan. Yin-Yang Reversal, Divine Weapon. Li Fan raised his right hand into the air. He released a powerful force, but it formed a huge Taiji symbol on his palm. The Taiji diagram kept spinning and shrinking. Soon, a white sword of light condensed in Li Fan's hand. Because the energy was too vast, Li Fan was unable to turn it into reality. He could only compress it to form this lightsaber. However, the radiance emitted by the sword made even White Tiger shudder in fear. What kind of ability is this? Why is your sword so special? What kind of divine weapon is that? I have no comment. As Li Fan spoke, he swung the lightsaber in his hand. The lightsaber instantly pulled out a sword energy, and the void seemed to be sliced apart. Hundreds of soldiers around Li Fan were directly sliced into two. Their bodies were immediately evaporated by the energy, leaving not a single residue behind. Li Fan held the lightsaber, feeling a little excited. He did not expect that his idea would really come true. This way, the effect of yin-yang reversal would be even stronger. We should have enough fun. Li Fan waved the lightsaber again. He quickly advanced and instantly swept past the thousands of soldiers, leaving behind a trail of afterimages. At the same time, every time he swept past, the soldiers would be thrown off their feet and turned into dust. Li Fan had already absorbed all their energy, so these stone statues had lost the chance to regenerate. What's more, there was nothing left of them. You destroyed this seat's chessboard. The White Tiger seemed to be a little angry. She finally rode her warhorse and slowly walked towards Li Fan. The warhorse slowly transformed into a ferocious white tiger that roared at Li Fan. Roar! This roar made Li Fan's hair stand on end. This white tiger descendant really did have some strength. You are about to bear this seat's power. You should feel honored. The white tiger walked closer, then stretched out her hand and pushed away the mask on her helmet, revealing a delicate and beautiful face. She looked like a 17 or 18-year-old girl, but she spoke with an aged tone, as if she had lived for a long time. Little girl, where is your adult? Let him come out and chat with me. Li Fan held the lightsaber and smiled. Watch your tone, this seat is not a little girl. Although this seat is only 19 years old, this seat shares the memories and knowledge of several generations of inheritors. We are white tigers, and white tigers share the experience of generations. What you want to defeat is the common wisdom of several generations. I'm even more interested now. Let's try. Li Fan held the lightsaber and looked for the white tiger's weakness. Logically speaking, the white tiger inheritor's strength should also be at the half-sage level, but just like what the dragoness had told Li Fan, the inheritor's strength was greatly enhanced in this tower. Even Li Fan could not see the depth of the inheritor's strength. However, Miss White Tiger had once told him that as long as he killed the inheritor, she could be resurrected. No matter what, he had to try. You defeated those pitiful chess pieces and obtained the strength to play against this seat. Be proud, mortal. This seat will let you die a painless death. With that, the white tiger inheritor stretched out her hand, and a longbow immediately appeared in her hand. This longbow was not an ordinary item at first glance. It seemed to be a weapon exclusive to the white tiger inheritor. Do you see this? This is the divine armament forged from the white tiger's soul, the white tiger divine bow. You remind me of the ranger in the game. Li Fan could not help but laugh, an archer chick riding a white tiger. Continue mocking me, ignorant mortal. This seat has already seen your fear. Is that so? What fear do I have? Before Li Fan could finish speaking, the white tiger inheritor suddenly pulled the longbow, but there was no arrow on the longbow. However, when the white tiger chick released the bowstring, Li Fan felt his heart tremble. In almost an instant, an illusion appeared in front of him. Murong Ying's heart was pierced by a sword. She spat out blood and fell in front of him. No! Li Fan's face was pale. He clutched his chest in pain and took a step back. He used a lot of strength to stabilize his body. Then, he looked at the white tiger girl in shock. This so-called godly bow could actually strike his heart directly. Should this arrow be called a soul arrow? I've already said that this seat has already seen through your fear. The white tiger girl's smile was quite sweet, but there was poison in the sweetness. You are too weak, mortal. These weaknesses will cause you to die a tragic death. Chapter 1471. As the white tiger girl spoke, she pulled the bowstring again. Li Fan widened his eyes and gathered his internal force in his eyes, wanting to see the truth of the so-called soul arrow. However, as soon as the bowstring was pulled, Li Fan instantly felt pain in his chest. An illusion appeared in front of him again. Imperial concubine Zhou seemed to have used up all her strength and was rapidly aging in front of him. Then, she turned into white bones and fell to the ground. No! Li Fan was in so much pain that he almost fainted. However, the illusion in front of him slowly dissipated. The white tiger girl was standing not far away, sneering at him. Can I feel your fear? The white tiger girl played with her longbow and looked at Li Fan as if she was looking at an idiot. You actually want to fight with me? You even want to challenge my holy tower? What a joke. The white tiger girl was full of ridicule, as if she did not take Li Fan seriously at all. You are about to become a speck of dust in my tower. Oh no, this is too wasteful. You are not completely trash. At least you can be a stone statue for me. Not bad, this job is very suitable for you. Aren't you happy? After your heart is broken, you can still make a small contribution to me. Little girl, you won't be able to get married like this. Li Fan wiped the smile from the corner of his mouth and said. You're quite a busybody. The white tiger girl sneered, you can't even protect yourself. Yet you're still asking about my matters. You keep saying, this seat. You really have the appearance of a 19-year-old, but the heart of a 91-year-old. What a pity, men like young girls and have no interest in old women. You're about to die, don't worry about it. The white tiger girl pulled the bowstring again. Li Fan instantly used the dragon soaring through the 9 heavens and suddenly increased his speed, disappearing from the white tiger girl's line of sight. Hee hee, it's useless. The white tiger girl released the bowstring. Li Fan suddenly appeared in the air and fell heavily to the ground. This time, the illusion he saw seemed to be even more severe. It was so painful that he spat out a large mouthful of blood. Only then did the pressure in his heart ease a little. Li Fan circulated his inner force and did a few more breathing exercises to reduce his injuries. I've already said that I've seen through your fear. No matter where you escape to, even if you escape from this tower, even if you escape to the other side of the ocean, you will always be in my sights. As long as this seat pulls the bowstring once more, I can kill you. Really? Li Fan finally smiled. Then I really have to thank you for telling me the solution. Have you given up on yourself? The white tiger chick did not believe Li Fan's words at all. With this weapon that could ignore distance and strike the heart, no one would be a match for her. Next time will be the day you die. She placed her hand on the bowstring, but at this moment, Li Fan instantly appeared in front of her. At the same time, he flicked the lightsaber in his hand. The white tiger maiden did not even have time to react, and the arrow in her hand was immediately sent flying. What? General, you've failed. As Li Fan spoke, under the White Tiger Maiden's shocked gaze, he stabbed the lightsaber in his hand a few times. These few stabs directly stabbed the White Tiger Maiden's limbs, causing her to lose her strength and fall from the tiger's body. The tiger roared and pounced towards Li Fan. Good. Li Fan lowered his body and dodged the tiger. Then, with a sweep of his lightsaber, the tiger was cut into two from below. No. The White Tiger Maiden seemed to have expected her failure. Her face was pale as she looked at Li Fan, who was standing in front of her. Don't you like to strike fear into others' hearts? Li Fan looked at the White Tiger Maiden. You have such power, but not only did you not abide by your duty, you even became a dog for the heavens beyond. Heh, what do you know? This world can no longer be preserved. The heavens beyond has decided to destroy the entire lower dimension. The White Tiger Maiden looked at Li Fan and seemed to have regained some of her rationality. She sneered, even if you win against me, you can't avoid destruction. What do you mean? Li Fan pointed the lightsaber at the White Tiger Maiden's throat. Speak clearly. Humans have always thought that they are at the top of the food chain. What a joke. The White Tiger Maiden reluctantly leaned on the tiger's corpse and looked at Li Fan with disdain. We are just living in the lower dimension. Above us, there exists the true ruler. That is the heavens beyond. What the hell is the heavens beyond? Are they gods? You can say that. The White Tiger Maiden seemed to have some understanding of these. Her words shocked Li Fan. They have many names, such as gods, aliens, ancient people, and so on. Speak clearly. Don't worry, I have a lot of time to chat with you. That's fine. Anyway, your death is coming. I don't mind chatting with you. The White Tiger Maiden leaned on the corpse and reluctantly raised her hand to point at her head. There are a few generations of memories here. That's why I understand the heavens beyond. When our generation of humans was just born, when we were still undeveloped, these people came from a distant planet and descended on this land. They had unique and powerful powers and began to impart some of their techniques to the primitive humans of that time. Because of their powerful powers, these aliens were called gods by the humans of that time. Some people have proposed such a theory. They said that the gods of that time might have been aliens. Is that true? Li Fan fell into deep thought. In short, these high-level aliens stayed. But as time passed, they gradually lost the peace they had in the past. They began to govern themselves and led humans to war. After a few wars, humans were almost wiped out. Therefore, these alien gods decided to sign a peace agreement. They built a space station here and lived there. From then on, they no longer cared about human affairs. And that space station was called the Heavens Beyond. That's quite a good story. Li Fan seemed to understand a little. If that's the case, why are they coming to destroy the world now? The energy of the Heavens Beyond is almost used up. The White Tiger Maiden continued, and Earth is rich in resources. Therefore, the Heavens Beyond plans to kill all humans and occupy their living space. Then why don't they just let them come directly? Li Fan was puzzled. If they are really so-called gods, they can easily kill all the humans on Earth, right? Have you forgotten? I said that the Heavens Beyond has an agreement. They are not allowed to attack humans. If they violate the agreement, they will be punished and lose their lives. Therefore, they have to think of a way to let others do it. Previously, they chose the nine-tailed divine fox. Chapter 1472. The nine-tailed divine fox was controlled by the people of Sky Beyond. She was ordered to destroy all humans. White Tiger continued, however, the nine-tailed divine fox was sealed by the four sages. This caused the people of Sky Beyond to be very disappointed. These people could only consume their own energy to maintain the existence of Sky Beyond. However, they could not hold on for long. Therefore, in order to destroy all humans, they had to choose a new representative. So they chose you guys. Li Fan looked at White Tiger. It seems like they chose the wrong people. This seat and the other 3 were only in charge of guarding the door. White Tiger curled her lips. After all, this seat has left the sacred tower. My strength will be greatly reduced. However, those gods of Sky Beyond will sooner or later think of a way to destroy humans. None of you can escape. Destruction is your only ending. If humans were to be exterminated, do you think you guys can live alone? Don't forget, although you guys obtained the power of the 4 sages, you are still humans in the end. Sky Beyond will bestow us eternal life. White Tiger laughed. If you admit defeat now and obey this seat will give you a chance to work for Sky Beyond and obtain a chance to live. Then I'm really sorry. You might not have heard of my nickname. Li Fan's eyes turned cold. Remember, my name is Little Tyrant. I control my own fate. Fool. You will soon know how terrifying Sky Beyond is. The White Tiger girl slowly stood up. Her injuries were rapidly healing. Furthermore, you really shouldn't have listened to this seat's chat. At this moment, this seat has already relied on this pagoda to recover my strength. As long as this pagoda exists, this seat will not die. Is that so? Li Fan was not surprised at all. It was as if he had already expected this. Aren't you afraid? White Tiger frowned. She faintly sensed that something was amiss. Don't look down on humans. As Li Fan spoke, he opened his hands and pulled them together, causing the surrounding energy to gather. Concealment. Reversal of yin and yang. The energy in the pagoda suddenly gathered towards Li Fan's Taiji diagram. What? Feeling that her sacred tower's energy was being taken away, White Tiger was shocked and furious. Sorry, I'll use the energy first. Li Fan gathered the energy together and released it around his body. The Zhongfei armor reappeared around Li Fan. This time, the armor emitted a milky white glow, and Li Fan looked like he was wearing a mech. He was like a deity. Amazing. Li Fan could not help but be pleasantly surprised when he felt the strengthened battle armor. It seemed like his idea was right. It was completely possible to arm himself with the power that Tai Chi had collected. I won't lose. I'm a powerhouse that has surpassed the White Tiger. The White Tiger girl was extremely unwilling. Her body suddenly rose into the air. The White Tiger divine bow also flew up and fused with her. In an instant, the White Tiger girl's body underwent a transformation. She quickly evolved into a form similar to Jiang Feng with a human head and a tiger body. Her hands and feet turned into tiger claws and were covered in white fur. A tail swayed behind her, giving her a strange charm. Beastman girl. Li Fan laughed. I like it. Even after plundering the tower's power, you're still immortal. The White Tiger's body also expanded to more than 3 meters tall. Her strength had increased by a lot. I'll let you know what the power of a holy beast is. The White Tiger girl opened her mouth and spat out a white ball of light. Like a cannonball, it instantly shot towards Li Fan. Li Fan waved his hand and moved the armor to slap the ball of light away. The ball of light smashed on top of his head. With a boom, the top of the White Tiger pagoda was pierced through. What terrifying power! You alone can kill at least 3 or 4 holy beast experts. Li Fan could not help but clap his hands in praise. If I didn't invent yin-yang reversal, I'm afraid I would have to drag Murong in here to defeat you. Fool! You think you can defeat me? Die for this seat. The white tiger girl instantly appeared in front of Li Fan and clawed at Li Fan's throat. However, Li Fan's eyes were filled with internal energy. He had already seen through the trajectory of the white tiger girl's attack. He took a step back and used his shoulder to push open the white tiger girl's chest. Because he had already transformed into a tiger and was blocked by the shoulder armor, Li Fan was unable to feel the white tiger girl's cup. However, this did not stop him from continuing to attack. Once he made a move, it would be as easy as crushing rotten wood. Li Fan's collision caused the white tiger girl to lose her balance. Following that, he grabbed her arm with one hand and pulled her forward. With a beautiful shoulder throw. Bam! The white tiger girl was thrown heavily to the ground. Li Fan twisted her arm and forcefully broke the white tiger's arm. Profound Dragon Spitting Pearl. Li Fan grabbed a ball of chi bead and struck the white tiger girl's chest. The distorted chi bead almost shattered the white tiger girl's chest, leaving a huge bloody hole on it. The white tiger girl lay in a pool of blood. Her eyes stared blankly and her expression became more and more lifeless. Is this the taste of death? Generations of experience, but it seems that none of them are professional martial artists. Li Fan said, "You only have strength, but you don't know how to fight at all." Cough cough. "This seat will wait for you below," the white tiger girl finally said to Li Fan. "You will come and find this seat soon, you don't have to worry about that." As Li Fan spoke, he directly twisted the white tiger girl's head. The white tiger girl's body returned to its original state and slowly dissipated. A milky white tiger appeared in the air. Its body was faintly discernible. Finally, with a swing of its rod in the air, it turned into a familiar figure. "Sister White Tiger, long time no see. I really didn't expect that you really did it." The white tiger girl looked at Li Fan with admiration in her eyes. "You have surprised me. Don't be in a hurry to be surprised. Let's talk about Heavens Beyond first. It seems that you already know about Heavens Beyond." The white tiger girl landed in front of Li Fan. With a stretch of her hand, the white tiger divine bow flew back into her hands. "I didn't tell you before because I was afraid that you would be under too much pressure. Then I have to thank you for taking care of my weak little heart." Li Fan could not help but tease. "I don't like it either, but Heavens Beyond is a terrifying opponent." The white tiger girl spread her hands. "Their strength has already exceeded our expectations. If we do not deal with it properly, I'm afraid the end of the world will really come. What should I do? Fight my way to Heavens Beyond? With your current strength, although you are already very strong, there is still a gap compared to Heavens Beyond." The white tiger girl poured a basin of cold water for Li Fan. Chapter 1473. You've also seen the power of the nine-tailed divine fox, right? Ms. White Tiger reminded Li Fan. Her power is there. If not for the fact that she has just unsealed herself and her skills have deteriorated, I'm afraid it would be impossible for you to defeat her. I admit that there is indeed some luck involved in defeating the nine-tailed divine fox. Although you don't like to fight unprepared battles. Every time you reach the end, there will always be some risk involved. You know me quite well. Li Fan smiled. It's true that I don't like to fight recklessly, but life would be boring if there were no small risks. But this isn't a risk. It's a gamble with your life. Ms. White Tiger emphasized. If you're not careful, you and everything will turn into ashes. That's quite dangerous. I can only do my best. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders, feeling that the burden of saving the world seemed to have inexplicably fallen on him. He was only in his 20s this year. Why did he have such a responsibility? We, the four saints, will help you at the critical moment. Ms. White Tiger comforted Li Fan. You won't fight alone. Trust me. Go and resurrect the other holy beasts. We will become a part of your strength. As she spoke, Ms. White Tiger's body slowly dimmed. You'll disappear. Li Fan sensed something. I'll disappear for a while. After all, I'm already dead. What I'm resurrecting now is just a remnant soul stored in a divine artifact. Then how can I resurrect you completely? Li Fan asked. There's no way, but we can survive. It's all thanks to you. As Ms. White Tiger spoke, her body turned into a burst of white light and landed on Li Fan's shoulder. The clothes on Li Fan's upper body were directly torn apart. A tiger tattoo slowly appeared on his entire right arm and shoulder. Fuck, does this make me look like a bad youth? Li Fan looked at the tattoo and asked, dumbfounded. You already have an even more exaggerated Overlord's subduing tiger painting behind you. As the illusion dissipated, Dragon Lady appeared in front of Li Fan. The little girl had a calm expression on her face as she ate her snacks and chatted with Li Fan. The white tiger is parasitic on your body, so it can absorb some energy from you to maintain its survival. Of course, she can also provide energy for you to use. However, in order to activate their power, you have to expend some energy. Equivalent exchange, you understand. Looks like I can't use it for free. Li Fan said bitterly, what a scam. But you've also gained something. As a white tiger, the support I can provide you is also quite considerable. Also, you can use the white tiger divine bow, remember? That terrifying power. It's quite scary, but I don't want to use it. Li Fan shrugged. Compared to that godly bow, I prefer to use my hands. If you want to deal with the people from sky beyond sky, it's still not enough to rely on your abilities. What's not enough? I like to create miracles. Li Fan stretched his body. Speaking of which, why isn't Big Sis White Tiger talking anymore? She said a few words to you and used up all her strength. Dragon Lady explained. After all, she's just a remnant soul. It's already good enough that she can talk to you. She needs your energy to survive. Alright, it feels like I have a parasite on my body. The white tiger definitely doesn't like being ridiculed by you. Dragon Lady couldn't help but laugh. You can say that she's your hanger-on. Besides, didn't you also receive her kindness? Didn't her 4 beautiful sword servants serve you? Hey, can you not be so ambiguous with your words? Li Fan reminded her. They're just, friends. Last time, who was it that laid on your friend's lap and let your friend feed you raisins? Cough cough, then, since we're done with the White Tiger Pagoda, we should go back. I also need to make more preparations to deal with the people from sky beyond sky. They won't make a move for a while. I think they'll focus on grooming their spokesperson. Dragon Lady thought for a while. You should think about who will be the spokesperson. As long as it's not Zhang Feng, anyone is fine. After Li Fan said that, he felt a little regretful. Damn, it can't really be Zhang Feng, right? Don't be in a hurry to judge. Dragon Lady reminded Li Fan. Everything is possible. However, if it's me, I won't choose Zhang Feng as the spokesperson for Sky Beyond Sky. Why? He's too shrewd and ambitious. Since he's the spokesperson, I think it's more suitable to find someone with brawn but a simple mind. For example, you. Damn, my IQ is 2 caddies higher than yours. Our dragon race is very smart. Don't underestimate the intelligence of a person who's lived for 1,000 years. Your intelligence is only limited to eating. Li Fan continued to ridicule. Alright, eat as much as you want. Don't waste your intelligence. I can't be bothered with you. You actually said I'm a foodie. Too hateful. Dragon Lady angrily rolled her eyes at Li Fan. 5 caddies of pig head meat in exchange for you not being angry. Deal. When Li Fan and the rest left the tower, in a faraway space, a man who has lived for an unknown period of time slowly opened his eyes. White Tiger is dead. His voice was very magnetic, as if it has an indescribable charm. What? 7 figures lit up at the side, each of them of a different color. Are you sure? No one in the lower realm can escape this sovereign senses. The man's voice did not have any emotion. It's all because of your indulgence. A red figure roared. You guys have let things go out of control. Don't be impatient. Another blue figure is very gentle. Things have not gone out of control. It's just a watchdog dying. What's the impact? That person defeated White Tiger. His strength has already exceeded everyone's expectations. Perhaps this is a good signal. You're saying, nurture him into a demon king. We can try. He has this talent. What if he betrays us? Humans cannot be trusted. They are only lowly creatures. We are the ones who tamed them, but they are not worthy of trust. All right, stop arguing. The man who spoke first spoke again. Although his voice is calm, it caused the surrounding people to quieten down. We can first test this man to see if he is suitable to become a demon king. Other than him, this sovereign has another candidate. Another candidate. Damn the rules. We could have personally exterminated these bugs. The shadows seem to be extremely dissatisfied. Everyone calm down. Continue to let Hua Heyu monitor him. Chapter 1474. After Li Fan completed the transfer procedures, most of the 7 knights' villas were successfully moved overseas. Li Fan couldn't help but sigh. It was said that those profiteers and corrupt officials like to move their assets overseas in order to save their lives. Despite his patriotism, he was forced by the country to move his assets overseas. For this, the country helped a lot and even dispatched a public ship to help Li Fan transport the materials of the 7 knights' villas. Am I being betrayed by the country? After finishing these things, Li Fan sat on the balcony of the 2nd floor of a small restaurant in the port. General Rand sat opposite him, and 2 young guards stood downstairs, keeping watch for them. Brother, you can't say that. General Rand smiled apologetically. I don't want to do this, but for the country, you are a threat. There are many threats in this country. Li Fan was peeling a mantis shrimp, and the plate next to him was already filled with mantis shrimps, but whether I am a threat or not, you should know very well. Of course I know, but some people don't. General Rand shrugged. Unfortunately, the person who makes the decision is not me. But don't worry, I know all the grievances you have suffered. General Rand comforted Li Fan. I have done my best to help you, and the 9th Bureau of National Security is also very beneficial to you. This identity is your umbrella, you should understand, right? I think I can protect myself. But there are many people who want your life. General Rand pointed to the sea. As far as I know, you have offended a certain empire. It doesn't matter if there are many lice. Li Fan enjoyed his salted mantis shrimp, not to mention, they can't even take care of themselves now, how would they have the time to care about me? If I'm not wrong, it won't be long before you challenge the Martial Imperial Palace, right? There are still 3 days. Li Fan was also counting the days. The Martial Arts Circle Assembly is in 5 days, but I probably won't participate. The Martial Arts Circle Assembly has been postponed. General Rand winked at Li Fan. According to the higher-ups, this Martial Arts Circle Assembly wants to be more grand. What do you mean? Li Fan was a little surprised. He was finally attracted by General Rand's topic. Because the ban on martial arts has been abolished, the country attaches great importance to this martial arts competition. They hope to elect a Wulian leader under the supervision of the government. Moreover, I heard that there will be experts from various countries participating in the Martial Arts Circle convention this time to jointly elect the leader of the martial arts circle. If that's the case, America will also send people over. Li Fan heard some clues. Of course, the Martial Arts Alliance Master can command the entire world of martial artists, and I heard that the Martial Arts Alliance Master will receive a prize this time. Prize? And, have you heard of the true immortal arts? What? Li Fan was shocked. Why was there news of the true immortal art everywhere? Of course, it is not the complete true immortal art. General Rand shared the information he heard. I heard that it's the third chapter of the true immortal art. Oh. Who provided this prize? Of course it's the Sky Martial Pavilion. Wait. What is the Sky Martial Pavilion? You are so famous in the pugilistic world, but you don't know about the Sky Martial Pavilion? General Rand laughed involuntarily. Fuck, I haven't been in the pugilistic world for long. What's so funny about it? Alright, brother. It's my fault. I shouldn't have laughed at you about this. General Rand stopped laughing. The Sky Martial Pavilion is actually not a force in the pugilistic world. They only appear in the Martial Arts Circle convention. No wonder you don't know about them. What does the Sky Martial Pavilion do? They are in charge of organizing the Martial Arts Circle convention. General Rand did not seem to be in the mood to eat. He only drank his beer. After the new leadership was elected, the 8 rules were there. General Rand did not dare to eat and drink to his heart's content. Other than organizing the Martial Arts Circle convention, the Sky Martial Pavilion will not appear in the pugilistic world. Why can they organize the Martial Arts Circle convention? Li Fan was still a little unconvinced. Because their prizes are always very generous. General Rand's explanation made Li Fan unable to refute. For example, the perfected celestial arts this time. Tell me, who in the pugilistic world doesn't want it? Not to mention the pugilistic world experts like you, even the higher-ups have their own ideas. Yeah, who doesn't want to become an immortal? That's right. Even I am tempted. General Rand spoke from the bottom of his heart. I think, in this world, there shouldn't be anyone who is not interested in becoming an immortal or Buddha. If you believe me, it's better not to think about this perfected celestial arts. Out of kindness, Li Fan warned General Rand. What if this perfected celestial arts can't make you an immortal, but a ghost? Brother, you seem to be implying something. I won't say too much. Tell me, what's your purpose in helping me this time? You look down on me too much. Am I that kind of person? General Rand chuckled. Today, I'm here to congratulate you on your move to a new place. Secondly, I wish you a smooth journey in 3 days. Thirdly, I hope you can do me a small favor. General Rand knew that he couldn't hide it from Li Fan. He laughed dryly and finally explained his purpose. See, you should have said so earlier. I knew you wouldn't treat me to a meal for no reason. Li Fan rolled his eyes. And you're so stingy. You only treated me to mantis shrimp. Where's the big lobster? Aren't we following the 8 rules? General Rand laughed. Not to mention big lobster, I don't even dare to treat you to Mao Tai wine. If the officials were really so honest, the common people would have long lived a happy life. I don't know what other people are like, but I have strict requirements for myself. General Rand sighed. The government officials are also human beings. They also have to support their families. My daughter has just been born, and I still have to save her dowry. How about I treat you to a big lobster? Stop, you're making me make a mistake. General Ran laughed dryly. Let's talk about the third one. It's also a mission given to you by the 9th Bureau of National Security. I knew you wouldn't eat this meal for free. Tell me, what's the mission? When you come back from the Martial Imperial Palace, I hope you can go to the Imperial Capital University. Go to the Imperial Capital University. For what? To be an undercover bodyguard. General Rand said. He took out a photo and placed it in front of Li Fan. Ha! Li Fan glanced at the photo. It was a very beautiful girl wearing a red sportswear. She looked very hot. Judging from her age, she should be 18 or 19 years old. This is Liang Ru. She is the daughter of a national leader. General Rand winked at Li Fan. I'll leave her to you. Chapter 1475. What? Li Fan was taken aback. Introduce someone to me. What are you thinking? Comrade Li, don't let your imagination run wild. General Ran hurriedly reminded Li Fan. That national leader's identity is no joke. His daughter is under your protection. I hope you can ensure her safety. He's a national leader after all. His identity is different. Li Fan curled his lips. Do I have to protect his daughter? Usually, there are guards protecting her, but it's different this time. General Ran emphasized. This leader is the representative of the Eagle faction. Now that cross-strait relations are tense, this leader is the decision-maker who advocates subduing Taiwan. He is actively subduing the other side. In another 3 months, he will announce this matter at the 2 meetings and promote the implementation of the plan. Therefore, in order to stop this plan, the saboteurs are likely to target the leader's relatives. I'm afraid this little girl is the main target of the saboteurs. I see. Li Fan understood. So I have to protect her for 3 months. The martial arts conference is in 3 months. I've calculated it for you. There's still time. Since when are you so good at math? You're complaining about something wrong, right? Anyway, what benefits do I get from this mission? Li Fan did not want to work for free. He had been cheated too many times. Li Fan no longer gave away free things. You'll be exempted from taxes for 2 years. Deal. Li Fan agreed without hesitation. Fuck, 2 years of taxes. This was no small matter. Although Li Family Island belonged to him, it still belonged to the country. The income of this island naturally had to be paid in taxes. You see, the country still trusts you a lot, right? I don't dare to ask for trust. But I'm satisfied as long as there are benefits. Comrade, you're still young. You can't always think about money. You need to have lofty ideals and ambitions. Don't try to fool me. Since I'm exempted from taxes for 2 years, then I'll accept this mission. Li Fan guessed. Then what's my identity as a spy in Imperial Capital University? A PE teacher. Why don't you hire the school doctor? He can also do a physical examination for the girls. You wish. How old are you? It's not suitable for you to do this. General Ran laughed involuntarily. This Li Fan was dreaming. You entered Imperial Capital University undercover as a student and became her classmate. It'll be easier for you to act. Since it's protection, shouldn't it be a personal protection? Do you want to put me in the same dormitory as this female student? Little comrade, your thoughts are very dangerous. I'm just afraid that you'll ruin my innocence if you really make such an arrangement. Li Fan felt wronged. I, Li Fan, am an upright man. I don't want to lose my chastity in my old age. Even if she is the daughter of a leader, I will not accept the unspoken rules. Don't worry, we don't have any unspoken rules. Really? I really didn't. Ah, that's good. I'm relieved. Looking at the cheeky look of Li Fan, General Ran rolled his eyes again and again. This brat, he's a typical example of taking advantage of others. Her name is Liang Ru, 19 years old, a second-year music student at Imperial Capital University. The temper of the leader's child may not be very good. You'll have to be more patient. Bad temper. How bad is that? Anyway, you should do your own ideological work. Fuck. Do your own ideological work. Only you can think of this. Think about the tax for 2 years. Wouldn't it be much better? Well, it really seems to be a lot easier. Well, when I come back from the Martial Imperial Palace, I'll report to the National Security Bureau 9. After Li Fan made an agreement with General Ran, the Major General was finally satisfied. He also had an appetite and ate seafood with Li Fan. At this time, in a building in Shanghai, the martial emperor, Liao Ju, was sitting on the 100th floor of a building, looking down at the people below. Your Majesty, your body has recovered very well. Wang Jian, who was wearing a red casual suit, stood beside his master and said respectfully. Yu Shi, who was standing on the other side of Liao Ju, was still wearing a black genie guard uniform. She lowered her head, her face was like ice, and she did not say a word. It's a pity that this body can't recover to my peak strength. Liao Ju, who was wearing a golden suit, sat on the boss's chair. At his feet, there was a lion, which was at least an adult, with a strong body and shiny fur. Liao Ju gently stroked the lion's head with one hand, looked into the distance, and said with regret, "You can't even get a container, it's really disappointing. This subordinate deserves to die." Wang Jian and Yu Shi knelt in front of Liao Ju. Li Fan is not bad, he has a pure young body. If I could get his body, I would be able to cultivate the last level of the 5 Emperor scripture and enter the Black Emperor realm. Tell me, should I be angry with you? Your Majesty, please punish us. Yu Shi wanted to accept her punishment. If I didn't need people now, I would have taken your lives long ago. After all, I don't like to keep trash by my side. Your Majesty. The door of the room was pushed open, and Tai Bai Jinxing, who was wearing a luxurious robe and carrying a large sword, walked in with large strides. If you are not happy, I will help you kill those enemies. Little Gold, I am very pleased with your sincerity. But come and take a look. Liao Ju pointed down. 30 years ago, this was only a small restaurant. But 30 years later, I am sitting here, looking down, it is like I am sitting in the sky. Times have changed, just fighting and killing won't solve the problem. Yes, Your Majesty is wise to send the 3 protectors to manage the business. Now, with the help of the 3 protectors, you have already taken control of this huge business empire. As long as you wave your hand, countless people will be at your beck and call. As long as you spend some money, there will be people who will settle everything for you. Wang Jian hurriedly flattered. That's right, in the past, if we wanted to become an emperor, we would always be obstructed. But now, even if I don't become an emperor, there are countless people who treat me like an emperor. It is your position that makes them respect and love you. Wang Jian's flattery was quite good. Yes, you are right. My prestige is enough to make these commoners submit. Liao Ju was originally very happy, but his expression suddenly changed. He slammed his other hand on the armrest of the chair. The leg of the chair directly smashed into the marble floor. Wang Jian and the others jumped in shock. The lion's hair also trembled as it lay on the ground, shivering. But there was one person who disobeyed me. Little Gold, how is that rebellious daughter now? Chapter 1476. Princess Shi, Tai Bai Jinxing seems to be hesitating as he stutters, causing Liao Ju to frown. What about her? Does she still want to go against us? Liao Ju's body really has some Emperor's Dragon aura, causing people like Tai Bai Jinxing to be afraid. Your Majesty. Princess might have had too much contact with Li Fan and was brainwashed by that brat Li Fan using some despicable method. Wang Sai also says some good words for Liao Wushuang. As long as we spend some time to communicate with the princess, this subject believes that the princess will definitely understand your Majesty's good intentions. She is stubborn. Liao Ju coldly snorts, this kind of person is not worthy to be our daughter. Although the princess is a bit too much, if she is willing to help, we can still take down Li Fan and make him your vessel again. As long as we obtain him, your Majesty will be able to cultivate to the Black Emperor realm. At that time, your Majesty will be invincible under the heavens and sweep through the world. Since that is the case, we will give her another chance. Xiao Jin, I will leave her to you. Yes. Tai Bai Jinxing nods his head, this subject understands. With that, Tai Bai Jinxing turns around and leaves the room. Your Majesty, tomorrow is the day that Li Fan will challenge you. Do you need this subject to do anything? Wang Sai suddenly asks, do you need this subject to get rid of Li Fan's right-hand man first? No need. Liao Ju picks up a cigar. Wang Sai hurries over and helps him light the cigar with a match. We are waiting for him to come. We will immediately let him know who is the true son of heaven. Liao Ju stands in front of the window with his hands behind his back. Looking out, a smile appears on his face. As the saying goes, accompanying a monarch is like accompanying a tiger. The mood of the monarch is like the weather in June, changing at a whim. How many years has it been since we have been so happy? Liao Ju's eyes seem to be filled with anticipation. You have not stood in our position, so naturally you do not know how lonely we are. For too many years, no one is our opponent. Now that someone has come out to challenge us, it is indeed a bit of fun for us. Your Majesty, are you going to personally deal with Li Fan? Wang Sai could not help but ask. If he can walk in front of me, it's not like I can't give him this opportunity. Liao Ju smiled with his hands behind his back. But he must be able to walk in front of me. After saying that, he waved his hand and had Wang send them out of the room. After coming out, Wang Zhuo asked Yushi, the final battle is imminent. You won't show mercy, right? You're insulting me. Yushi looked at Wang Zong coldly. People have 7 emotions and 6 desires. This is very normal. Wang Jing chuckled, besides, Li Fan is quite charming. Even I admire him, let alone you. I have a mission by staying by Li Fan's side. Yushi reminded Wang Xing, I am loyal to His Majesty. If you dare to slander me again, don't blame me for being impolite. While speaking, a black aura slowly emerged from Yushi's body. Wang Zong quickly took 2 steps back. I spoke too much. Wang Zong pinched his thumb and middle finger and said coquettishly, actually, I am very envious of you. If only I had a woman's body like yours. What a pity. If you talk nonsense again, I'll cut off your tongue. So fierce. Forget it, I'm afraid of you. Wang Zong waved his hand, I'm leaving. Think about it yourself. Wang Zong didn't know what to make Yushi think about. He turned around and left. Yushi stood there and slowly closed her eyes. Li Fan. It's good if you don't come. But if you come, we will be enemies. Your Majesty. Just as Liao Ju was waiting for Li Fan, a subordinate shout suddenly came from outside the door. Your Majesty, this subordinate has something to report. Speak. Liao Ju was resting with his eyes closed, practicing his inner force. Hearing this, he didn't open his eyes and just casually replied. Your Majesty, a soldier-level expert from the Royal Army has brought 30 experts from the Royal Army and entered our Emperor building. The subordinate reported, they came with ill intentions. The 5 protectors request for your imperial decree to get rid of these daring people. They're just shrimp soldiers and crab generals. Just let Yuchi Gong deal with them. Don't ask me about this kind of thing. Yes. This subordinate will go past the imperial decree now. Feeling Liao Ju's impatience, the subordinate was alarmed and quickly went to pass the imperial decree. What a bunch of idiots. They even have to ask me about this kind of thing. Liao Ju's mood became bad again. Although he was invincible in the world, these people around him didn't have any brains. This kind of small matter could be dealt with by themselves. They actually have to ask me. If I have to decide everything, what's the use of them? Roar! The lion growled. Liao Ju nodded. Yes, you're right. These people are even inferior to your pet. Liao Ju stood in front of the window and looked at the people outside. This world is too small. It can't satisfy my ambition. In the near future, the entire world will submit to my feet. What can those puny royal army do? While Liao Ju was sighing, the hall on the first floor of the Emperor building had already been occupied by the royal army. Hong Kai was a soldier-level cadre of the Royal Army and one of Jiang Feng's capable subordinates. However, Hong Kai was ambitious and had always been unwilling to work for Jiang Feng. This time, Hong Kai secretly disobeyed Jiang Feng's orders. He brought 30 experts under him and rushed into the Emperor building, determined to capture Martial Emperor Liao Ju. Sir, we've taken down all the people on the first floor. A minister-level cadre half knelt in front of Hong Kai and reported the results of the battle. Not bad. Hong Kai was very satisfied, although Jiang Feng is very smart, he's too timid. I've said it before, the Martial Imperial Palace is just a paper tiger. Brothers, as long as we rush to the top floor and capture Martial Emperor Liao Ju, all of us will be promoted. As the saying goes, when there's a great reward, there will be brave men. After Hong Kai promised such a benefit, the surrounding experts of the Royal Army also became excited. This group of people came out to join the Royal Army, which one of them didn't want money and power? Sir Hong, we have so many experts. Those people from the Martial Imperial Palace are probably going to run away. The minister-level cadre took the opportunity to say in Hong Kai's ear, I think we should go upstairs and capture Liao Ju so that he doesn't run away. You're right. Hong Kai nodded. Liao Ju claims that he's extremely strong, but he never shows his face. I'm afraid he's just a guy who looks strong but is actually weak. Elite team, listen to my orders. Prepare to go upstairs and capture him. Hong Kai was full of confidence. He had painstakingly obtained this information in order to capture Liao Ju and make a great contribution. Then, he would kick Jiang Feng out of the Royal Army and replace him. Everyone get ready. It's time to make a contribution. Chapter 1477. Hong Kai brought a group of royal guards and prepared to break through the defense of the Martial Imperial Palace and capture the damned Martial Emperor Liao Ju in one fell swoop. With a wave of his hand, the surrounding Imperial guards followed suit. At this moment, the royal guards had already changed. Under Jiang Feng's management, all the royal guards began to learn the same martial arts and mental cultivation method, as well as use the same weapons. On the back of these royal guards, there was a Tang saber. This kind of Tang saber was relatively light and good at attacking. At the same time, there was an alloy rod tied to the scabbard of the Tang saber. When needed, the long saber and the rod could be combined to form a Mo saber. Jiang Feng's management method had indeed strengthened the power of the royal guards. In the past, the system of the royal guards consisted of the 4 aristocratic families, especially the Sima family, as well as some other sects in the pugilistic world. Therefore, the strength was uneven and the martial arts methods were also very different. The imbalance in strength could be adjusted with the dragon chip. However, the martial arts methods could not be changed with the dragon chip. However, after Jiang Feng came to power, he carried out a bold and decisive reform. He found a Ming dynasty martial arts called the doctrine of Imperial Demon. It was said that during the founding of the Ming dynasty, it was comprehended by a Taoist priest. Along with this mental cultivation method was a saber manual called the Imperial Demon Divine Saber. These martial arts were easy to learn, but it required talent and time to practice to a high level. Jiang Feng used a forceful method to make the royal guards abandon their previous martial arts and practice this set of Imperial Demon Divine Saber. After all, it was an awesome martial art and many people were willing to learn it. This management method was similar to the embroidered uniform guards in the past. In the embroidered uniform guards, they practiced a set of minor phaseless technique. The higher their status, the higher the level they could practice. Back then, the most powerful person Li Fan had seen was Wang Zhao, who had practiced the minor phaseless technique to the peak. Hong Kai also practiced this mental cultivation method. The mental cultivation method was linked to the level of the saber manual. There was a total of 7 levels. Hong Kai himself had practiced the 6th level and had reached the realm of a generation's master. Legend had it that if one could reach the 7th level, they would have the strength of a half-sage. Unfortunately, Hong Kai had not practiced to this level. However, he believed that Liao Ju was not that strong and was just bluffing. He had 30 elites here, and today was the day he would make a fortune. Let's go. It's time to make a contribution. Hong Kai waved his tang knife and shouted excitedly. The surrounding people were all excited. The staff in the Emperor building had all become bounties in their eyes. Every time they saw someone, they would not hesitate to slash their throats with their tang knives. Soon, blood flowed like a river in the Emperor building, and many employees died a violent death. Look, they're just a so-so. Hong Kai laughed heartily. He led his men and continued to advance towards the top of the Monarch building, massacring everyone along the way. In a short while, they had already killed their way to the 10th floor. Although the building was 100 stories high, to these experts, climbing 100 stories did not consume much internal energy. But in the corridor of the 10th floor, a middle-aged man wearing a white polo shirt was sitting there. He was wearing a pair of gold-rimmed glasses and had an elegant pipe in his mouth. He was sitting on the stairs and reading a small book on high-level management experience between 3 of his fingers. Kill him. Hong Kai felt that this person was not friendly. He immediately ordered one of his men to test him. That man nodded and carried his tang knife. He stepped on the handrail next to him and performed a beautiful qigong. With 2 steps, he jumped in front of the man in the polo shirt. At the same time, he raised the tang knife in his hand and stabbed at the man's throat. The other party suddenly moved. He closed the book in his hand, and with a "paw" sound, he caught the tang knife, and then broke it with a bang sound. Then, the man in the polo shirt punched the man's lower abdomen. The man's lower abdomen was pierced through and a huge bloody hole burst open. Blood spilled on the stairs. It was very eye-catching. The man fell to the side and was no longer alive. Look, the corridor is dirty. I'll have to spend a sum of money to clean it up. The man in the polo shirt stuffed the small book into his chest pocket and then lightly tapped his pipe. You idiots, you actually killed my staff and caused a lot of losses. This is really unforgivable. Staff. Hong Kai seemed to understand something, the people I just killed were all ordinary office workers. What do you think? The man in the polo shirt shook his head. We have to go to the talent market to recruit again. You know what we lack the most in this era is talent. If the people we recruit are good, then it's fine. But if we find stupid people like you, then what should we do? It's so hard to run a company. You have to compensate me for my losses. As he spoke, he took out a calculator from his pocket and did some calculations. It's about 35,648,200. Everyone, who is responsible for the transfer? Since they are your staff, they are considered as helping the evildoer. Hong Kai sneered, I don't want to lose money. If those people die, then they die. They can only blame themselves for being unlucky. You don't have to be too distressed because you will be accompanying them soon. With that, Hong Kai shouted, shoot him to death. The opponent should have some strength. I don't want to waste my troops to deal with him. With Hong Kai's order, the Imperial guards behind him took out the crossbows hanging on their waist. This crossbow was also improved according to Jiang Feng's request. Its size is almost the same as a pistol. The crossbow bolts are also specially made. Each bolt is about the length of a finger. There are a total of 7 bolts. They are compressed into a magazine and hung on the crossbow. Now the crossbow is lighter and can be fired continuously. At the same time, its power is also stronger. There is a tang knife for close combat, a mo knife for medium-range combat, and a crossbow for long-range combat. Jiang Feng has improved the overall strength of the Imperial Guards. Swish, swish. For a time, the corridor was filled with the sound of the crossbow bolts. The man in the polo shirt stood there. He stretched out his hand in the air and then clawed at the air. The incoming crossbow bolts changed their direction. In a blink of an eye, they were sucked to the front of his body and floated above his palm. Small phaseless technique. Feeling this exquisite internal force control method, Hong Kai's complexion finally changed. Yes, it is small phaseless technique. The man in the polo shirt smiled. Before you die, remember one thing. My name is Yu Qigong, one of the 5 protectors under the martial emperor. Today's loss will be compensated with your lives. With that, he flicked his finger and the bolts immediately flew out. In a blink of an eye, some of the Imperial Guards' throats were pierced and their lives were taken. Hong Kai waved his tang knife and barely blocked a few crossbow bolts. When he looked back, there were only 5 Imperial Guards left behind him. Chapter 1478. Hong Kai's heart was bleeding. These were his most loyal and capable subordinates. How could they be killed just like that? Everyone, retreat. The experts from the martial Imperial Palace were too troublesome. Only now did Hong Kai begin to regret that he had been so careless and greedy. Instead, he had lost all the power in his hands. Chief Hong, we'll stop him. Please leave. The 3 subordinates behind him were loyal to their master. None of them were cowards. They immediately rushed forward and stood in front of Hong Kai, trying to stop Yu Qigong. Your 3 subordinates aren't bad. Yu Qigong nodded and praised them. Unfortunately, they followed the wrong person. As he spoke, Yu Qigong threw 3 punches in a row. The fist aura landed on the 3 men's donjong acupoints, killing them immediately. Bastard! Hong Kai's eyes were bloodshot. He could no longer care about anything else. He grabbed his tang saber and pounced on Yu Qigong. The Demon Exorcism Divine Saber was a set of saber techniques that were fast and fierce. Hong Kai was indeed an expert. He threw out a set of saber techniques and left a bloody mark on Yu Qigong's shoulder. You hurt me. Yu Qigong looked at his right shoulder, which had been cut open. He seemed a little unhappy. Do you know how much I spent on this polo shirt? It was sewn meticulously by a top tailor in Italy. You ruined it just like that. As he spoke, Yuchi Gong stretched out his hand. The Tang sabers on the ground were immediately controlled by his inner force and flew toward Hong Kai. Clang, clang, clang. Hong Kai waved his Tang saber. His saber techniques were dense and his defense was strict. But just as Hong Kai blocked the last saber, Yuchi Gong appeared in front of him and punched him in the chin. Bang! Hong Kai's protective upstanding chi was broken by the powerful punch and sent him flying. He hit the concrete stairs above his head and then fell heavily to the ground. Yuchi Gong sent him flying with a kick. Crash! Hong Kai smashed the window in the corner, and his body flew out, falling from the 10th floor. Yuchi Gong leaped out and caught up with Hong Kai. His leg came down like a battle axe, chopping down on the top of Hong Kai's head. Boom! Hong Kai flew out like a cannonball and smashed into the square next to the building, creating a small pit. Hong Kai's head had already turned into minced meat, with red and white matter splattered everywhere. Yuchi Gong also fell from the sky and landed beside him, his feet leaving footprints on the ground. It's easy for you to die, but I still have to deal with the aftermath. Yuchi Gong took out his pipe again and took a puff, slowly savoring the smoke in his mouth. He looked at Hong Kai's corpse at his feet, then looked up at the sky. His Majesty should be able to see his performance. Hopefully, he won't be too angry. These troublemakers had ruined His Majesty's mood. Their crimes were unforgivable. The next day, Li Fan and Chun Er met up with Jiang Feng at a cafe not far from the Imperial Building. Little brother, today is the day of the battle with the martial monarch. Did you only bring a maidservant? Jiang Feng looked at Chun Er, who was standing beside Li Fan, and couldn't help but laugh. Should I say that you're romantic or conceited? Jiang Feng, we're all sensible people, so don't try to make insinuations. Li Fan bluntly said, I have a ban in Huaxia. As long as I'm in Huaxia, I can't have more than one person from the Seven Knights Villa around me. The government was worried that Li Fan would rebel, so they gave him such a ban. Li Fan was in Huaxia, so he had no choice but to abide by this order. He tried his best not to let the higher-ups worry about him, so as to avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. Jiang Feng must have known about this matter as well. However, he had purposely said this to embarrass him. But what kind of person was Li Fan? How could he be at a disadvantage? He might as well lay his cards on the table and make things clear. He didn't want to play those weird tricks. Third brother, let's talk about the matter as it stands. Why are you so angry? Oh. Talk about the matter as it stands. Sure. Li Fan laughed. I heard that a member of the Imperial Guard called Hong Kai and his subordinates suddenly disappeared yesterday. Do you know about this, second brother? I have some connections in the intelligence field in Huaxia. Do you want me to check it out for you? Jiang Feng's face turned gloomy. Hong Kai acted on his own and caused the Imperial Guard to be annihilated. He lost a lot of face and got scolded by the higher-ups. The commander of the Imperial Guard was Jiang Feng, and he was the leader, so he had a direct accountability system. If something happened to his subordinates, the higher-ups would look for him and not anyone else. Third brother, I didn't expect you to be so well informed. You even know about this. Jiang Feng also understood. It seemed that Li Fan had his own connections in the government. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to find out about such confidential matters. This time, the Imperial Guard made a fool of themselves, which was equivalent to the government making a fool of themselves. They wouldn't make this matter public. Same here. Li Fan pointed to the Emperor's building. Let's put aside our grudges for now. The person we want to deal with is inside. I'm afraid the government is very disappointed in you after what happened yesterday. As long as you take him down, you will regain the trust of the government, right? You're right. Jiang Feng didn't deny it. Hong Kai, this idiot, although he made me lose face, at least he let me know the truth about the Martial Imperial Palace. The gatekeeper of the Martial Imperial Palace is called Yu Qigong. I heard he's one of the 5 protectors. He learned the small phaseless method and practiced an unknown martial art. It's very powerful. The Martial Imperial Palace is full of talented people, which is indeed difficult to deal with. If I didn't have the ban, I could let the villa send out experts to flatten this place. Although the Martial Imperial Palace was powerful, Li Fan believed that his 7 Nights villa was not bad. Why didn't you bring Imperial Consort Show? Jiang Feng seemed to blame Li Fan. If she came, we could save a lot of effort, right? Imperial Consort Show still has to guard the villa, lest some people want to take the opportunity to attack my villa when I'm not here. Third brother, are you talking about me? Ha, second brother, you worry too much. I'm talking about those small fry. Are you a small fry? Of course not. Jiang Feng laughed dryly. Unfortunately, Muronging can't come. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to make a move. Muronging has her own things to do. Moreover, in terms of comprehensive strength, you're actually better than her. Li Fan didn't want to use the yin-yang dragon and phoenix sword in China. This kind of bug-like sword technique was better left as a trump card. He invited Jiang Feng to come because of his own plan. Even if he won against the Martial Emperor, he would have to spend a lot of effort. He couldn't weaken himself for nothing, so he had to bring Jiang Feng along. Chapter 1479. Third brother, you're getting more and more cunning. Jiang Feng naturally saw through Li Fan's thoughts. Never mind. As the commander of the Imperial Guards, I can't let this so-called Emperor of Wulin do whatever he wants. Tell me, what's your plan? We don't need to bring too many people to attack the Martial Imperial Palace. Too many people will just be a burden. Li Fan pointed at the group of Imperial Guards standing outside. Just let them guard down there. Don't let the people from the Martial Imperial Palace escape. The 2 of us will overcome all obstacles and directly challenge Liao Ju. The brave fight the evil dragon. This made Jiang Feng laugh. Isn't it unfair? I have so many experts, but I can't use them. Second brother, you have to accumulate more good karma for yourself. Li Fan smiled coldly. They are your subordinates. It's not good to let them be your cannon fodder, right? I have my own way of fighting. You don't have to worry about it, third brother. Jiang Feng stirred the coffee in his cup. The situation is very chaotic now. I also hope to preserve some of my strength. Aren't they your strength? The royal guards are quite a force to be reckoned with. But there are also many disobedient people. Jiang Feng shrugged. Do you think I brought my own people with me this time? Although Jiang Feng was the commander, many of the Imperial Guards did not listen to him. Some of them pretended to obey him but opposed him in secret. Li Fan was a little surprised. He did not expect Jiang Feng to use this opportunity to get rid of his dissidents. You're ruthless enough to use this kind of opportunity. Opportunities don't fall from the sky. They have to be fought for. Jiang Feng chuckled. It's not easy for me to run the Imperial Guards alone. Third brother, you have to understand me. Up to you. But I'm afraid you won't even be able to go up to the 10th floor. Li Fan was speaking the truth. Yu Qigong's strength was there for all to see. That's their problem. It's fine as long as we can go up. Jiang Feng took a sip of coffee. Some things are bitter, but a few sips will make them sweet. You deal with the royal guards yourself, but there's something I need to clarify. Most of the people in this building were ordinary employees. The Martial Imperial Hall's soldiers should be stationed from the 80th floor onwards. You mean, I'm not allowed to attack ordinary employees? Don't forget that they're also earning money for the people of the Martial Imperial Hall. You're just being used. I respect your decision, and I hope you can respect mine as well. Li Fan's attitude was very firm. Jiang Feng put down the cup and shrugged. It's up to you. A soft-hearted person like you usually won't survive more than 2 episodes in a TV series. People like you will usually be decapitated at the end of the drama. It's very satisfying. Li Fan winked at Jiang Feng. Alright, let's not be in a hurry to discuss our ending. Let's first think about Her Majesty Empress Wu. As Jiang Feng spoke, he took out 5 cups and placed them in front of Li Fan. First of all, there's a protector guarding every 10 floors of the lower 50 floors. Since Yu Qigong is one of the 5 protectors, there should be a total of 5 protectors protecting him. Tai Bai Jinxing used to be the left protector, but now he seems to have been promoted to the left general. Li Fan also exchanged his own information. Among the 5 protectors, the ones I know now should be Yu Qigong, Wang Zai, Yu Shi. When it came to Yu Shi, Li Fan's heart thumped heavily. He seemed to be very upset. Although he had long been prepared to fight with Yu Shi, Li Fan still couldn't cross this threshold. I've found out about these 5 people. Jiang Feng seemed a little proud. At least, in terms of intelligence, he proved that he was better than Li Fan. These 5 protectors, 5th protector Yu Qigong, 4th protector Yu Shi, 3rd protector Bai Liang, 2nd protector Wang Zai, and 1st protector Qin Chaoran. All 5 of them practice the small phaseless method, so their strength is the same as their ranking. What about the higher floors? I'm not sure, but there should be the left and right general who can stop us. Jiang Feng didn't have any more information. You've seen that Tai Bai Jinxing before. He has the strength of a half-sage at most. If you and I join forces, the 5 protectors can't stop us at all, let alone the left and right general. Jiang Feng was quite confident. The only one worthy of our attention is Martial Emperor, Liao Ju. If I'm not wrong, his strength should have reached the saint level. He's a strong enemy. Don't underestimate the enemy. Li Fan was not as optimistic as Jiang Feng. Since Liao Ju has self-proclaimed as Martial Emperor, he should have some other means. Alright, we'll study them when the time comes. This time, we can only fight a battle that we're not prepared for. After exchanging the information, Jiang Feng said to Li Fan, we should also go see this Martial Emperor, lest he gets anxious. Speaking of which, you're the commander of the Imperial Army, are you really unprepared? Li Fan drank his coffee in one gulp and asked meaningfully. If the 2 of us join forces, we'll be invincible. What else do we need to prepare? Jiang Feng seemed arrogant, but Li Fan felt that things weren't that simple. This sworn brother of his never fought a battle unprepared. The 2 of them walked out of the coffee shop and stood in front of the Monarch building. A group of Imperial army surrounded them. Comrades, today is an important battle. Jiang Feng encouraged them. Every Imperial Army member who kills a soldier of the Martial Emperor Palace will be promoted by 1 rank. A reward of 1 million. If you can kill one of the 5 protectors, you'll be promoted by 3 ranks and have a reward of 1 million. Jiang Feng's reward was indeed generous. Although these Imperial Army members didn't belong to his forces, their blood was boiling. All of them were impatient and wanted to rush into the Monarch building as if they were going to rush into a treasury. Oh right, you can subdue the ordinary staff below the 80th floor, but you're not allowed to kill them. Jiang Feng followed Li Fan's meaning and reminded these unusually excited Imperial Army members, we're a righteous army that belongs to the government. Whoever dares to break the law, don't blame me, Jiang Feng, for being merciless. Everyone hear me? Yes. Everyone answered in unison. Good, let's go. Jiang Feng waved his hand and these Imperial Army members immediately rushed into the Monarch building. Li Fan shook his head, not knowing if he was feeling sorry for Jiang Feng or for these Imperial Army members. The two of them didn't know that on a building far away, a blue-clothed man and a red-clothed woman were looking at them. These two people were the watchers sent by the sky beyond heaven. The man was called Yu and the woman was called Hua. Who do you think will win? You seem to be very interested in these things, as he asked with a smile. Chapter 1480. Martial Emperor trains in a set of martial arts that we left behind in the human realm. Jade continues to speak slowly, even though this set of martial arts is not much, but to humans, it is exceptionally powerful. That Li Fan has exceeded our expectations time and time again. Also Jiang Feng, he seems to have received some help from the Azura realm. Who cares about them? Hua curls her lips, her black eyes reveal a trace of disdain. They are all third-rate trash, so who cares who wins? Monitoring is a very boring thing, so we have to find joy in hardship. Jade's gaze falls on Hua. If you agree to dual cultivate with me, then it won't be so boring. Don't mention that again. Hua's brows raise. You are also a lower immortal, don't say such shameless words in the future. Dual cultivation is a set of techniques, how is it shameless? Jade emphasizes, Hua, I think you are thinking of evil. You and I are both lower immortals, so we have to work hard to break through and become upper immortals. The hierarchy in Sky Beyond Skies is very simple. It is divided into lower immortals, upper immortals and supreme immortals. Even though it is simple, it is very cruel. In this hierarchy, the higher level has absolute control and management over the lower level. Lower immortals like Hua and you are actually having a hard time in Sky Beyond Skies. I can do it on my own. Hua looks at Jade in disgust. This guy is always thinking of ways to obtain my body and dual cultivate with me. This kind of person deserves to die. They are probably just trying to satisfy their own desires. If not for being sent to do a mission together, Hua really wants to stay far away from this man. You make it sound so simple. So many years have passed, aren't you still a lower immortal? Jade reminds her, give up on your perseverance. I guarantee that if you and I dual cultivate, in less than 100 years, we can become upper immortals and get rid of this kind of life. Don't tell me you want to be a lower immortal that is being bullied by others forever. A new era is coming, you should make the right choice. Then you don't need to worry, focus on completing your mission. Hua is extremely annoyed, subconsciously standing 2 steps away, maintaining a distance from this guy. Stubborn. Jade sighed repeatedly, as if feeling sorry for the flowers. In fact, he was extremely angry in his heart. This ungrateful woman had repeatedly rejected the young master's good intentions. It was her honor that the young master fancied her body. She didn't want the young master to find another girl to cultivate with. 100 years later, he would look for her again. At that time, she would have no choice but to obey his orders and submit to his crotch. Little girl, you won't be happy for long. At this moment, Jiang Feng and Li Fan were standing in the lobby of the Emperor building. Jiang Feng was dressed in the uniform of the commander of the royal guards. He had one hand on the hilt of his sword and the other on his phone. No one knew what he was looking at. Li Fan, on the other hand, was dressed in a grayish-white tracksuit. His hands were in his pockets, and he seemed to be looking into the distance intentionally or unintentionally. How long do we have to wait? Li Fan asked casually. Don't worry, my loyal subordinates are fighting for us. Oh, then I'll take a nap. Li Fan said and really closed his eyes, as if he was half asleep. But at this moment, a stream of internal force was released from his body and flew out through the window. On the building far away, Jade's eyes were secretly looking at his companion. This flower's figure was really not bad, curvaceous and irritating. Put your eyes on the mission. Flower reminded Jade with annoyance, if you look randomly again, be careful that I'll dig out your eyes. If you don't look at me, how do you know that I'm looking at you? Jade sneered. If you don't pay attention, I'll report you to the higher-ups. Go ahead. Jade didn't care, Li Fan is under my surveillance. His every move can't escape my eyes. What are you going to use to report me? Really? A mocking voice appeared beside them. The two of them turned around in shock and found that Li Fan was sitting on the billboard, looking at them mockingly. Sky beyond heaven only sent the two of you to monitor me. Aren't you looking down on me? Damn it, why is he here? Jade, look at what you've done. Flower was so angry that the young lady shook her hand and a celestial sword flew over and floated beside her. Wait, don't attack. Jade pressed down on her wrist, don't forget, we cannot attack. We have already been discovered, we must kill him. Calm down. The two of you stop arguing. Let's all have a chat. Li Fan stretched, jumped down from the billboard, and stood in front of the two of them. Why don't you tell me about your skies beyond heaven, and let me see your legendary holy land? Li Fan, you are merely a lower realm creature. How are you fit to speak to us? Flower looked at Li Fan angrily, if not for the higher-ups' orders, you would have long become a dead soul under my sword. Looking at the palm-sized celestial sword floating beside Flower, Li Fan was a little curious. Sky beyond heaven is known as an extraterrestrial visitor. What kind of martial arts do they train in? I am a little itchy. How about a spar? Since the other party did not dare to kill him, Li Fan came up with an idea. Sorry, we are not in the mood. Looking at Hua, who was also eager to give it a try, Jade grabbed her and said, goodbye. With that, the two of them turned into white light and disappeared from the rooftop. Damn, they run so fast. Li Fan felt a little regretful that he had not managed to get any useful information from them. The two people from the realm beyond Avalon gave him quite a bit of pressure. From the looks of it, their strength is at least above saint level. Furthermore, this group of people has already started to monitor him. It seems like they really want to make a move on him. Li Fan looked at the place they left and there seemed to be some energy fluctuations. Li Fan was thinking, if he could control this energy, would he be able to chase them to sky beyond heaven? As Li Fan was thinking, his expression suddenly changed. Jiang Feng seemed to be calling out to him. Forget it, he could only slowly deal with the matter of sky beyond heaven. He should continue attacking the martial imperial palace first. Li Fan's body slowly dissipated. It was originally a clone that was sent out, but now it was recalled. When Li Fan opened his eyes, Jiang Feng had already put away his phone and was talking to Li Fan. The people are almost exhausted. We should go and meet the fifth protector, Yu Qigong. Okay, let's go. Li Fan followed Jiang Feng upstairs. When they were about to reach the 10th floor, they found the stairs were filled with the corpses of the Imperial Guards. A Prime Minister-level expert stood at the side. When he saw Jiang Feng, he immediately knelt down. Commander, everyone has died in battle. What a pity. Take good care of their families. This commander will personally avenge them. Chapter 1481. Third brother, would you like to go with me? Jiang Feng looked at Li Fan and asked. Of course. Li Fan said indignantly, the comrades of the Imperial Guards sacrificed themselves for the country. We can't let them die in vain. Second brother, we must eliminate the martial imperial palace and avenge them. Jiang Feng was also quite speechless. His third brother could compete with him when he was shameless. Yuqigong is upstairs. Let's go. The two continued to walk along the corridor. But this time, Yuqigong did not sit in the stairwell. The stairs leading up to the 10th floor were blocked, and it seemed that they could only go in another direction. The door of the stairwell was open to the two, as if inviting them. It seems that Yuqigong is waiting inside. Looking at the corpses of the imperial guards around, Jiang Feng glanced inside. The smell of blood was slightly disgusting. Jiang Feng pointed forward and exchanged glances with Li Fan. The two of them walked into the building together. The inside of the 10th floor was almost a huge library. The surrounding walls were lined with rows of bookshelves. There were all kinds of books on them. Yuqigong was sitting on a ladder. Today, he had changed into a black polo shirt. He was smoking a pipe while reading a management book. This place was filled with the aroma of books, but there were many corpses lying on the ground. What a beautiful place. There is knowledge everywhere. Yuqigong sighed as he read. It's a pity that it's been ruined by these fools. Friend, it's good to love reading, but you chose the wrong place. Reading here will cost you your life. Jiang Feng said to Yuqigong with a smile. Jiang Feng, right? Yuqigong turned his head and pushed the gold-rimmed glasses on his nose. Oh yes, and Li Fan. If my information is correct, you two are enemies. Why are you together today? What do you mean? We are sworn brothers. We have a deep relationship. Jiang Feng laughed. This time, I heard that my brother is going to challenge some martial emperor. Of course, I came to help. Hey, watch your attitude. Yuqigong reminded Jiang Feng, it's best to be respectful to His Majesty. He's the real emperor. A true emperor would not imprison his own daughter. Li Fan finally spoke, listen, I have a bunch of things to deal with now. So, you only have two choices now. Either you give way, or you die here. I think you also like this place as your grave, right? You're quite fierce. Yuqigong calmly looked at Li Fan. No wonder His Majesty Empress Wu admires you so much. When I capture you, His Majesty will definitely appreciate me. You look gentle and refined, but you're quite ambitious. Li Fan glanced at Jiang Feng. Should I do it, or will you do it? Small fry, I'll get rid of him for you. Jiang Feng chuckled, but Yuqigong burst out laughing. The two of you are really stupid. I am the Martial Imperial Palace's fifth protector. Yuqigong's eyes were full of confidence. After His Majesty Empress Wu came out, she directly increased my strength. It can be said that the two of you are not my opponents. Let me do it. I want to compete with the minor phaseless technique. This person is obviously not good enough. There's no pleasure in competing with him. Let me do it. Fine. Then you do it. The two of them did not take Yuqigong's words to heart and continued to talk about themselves. Humph. Yuqigong seemed a bit annoyed. He waved his hand, and the tang sabers on the corpses immediately flew up. The tips of the sabers were aimed at Li Fan and Jiang Feng, and then shot toward them. Don't worry, your opponent is me. Jiang Feng took a step forward. He stood there, and his fingers continuously shot out Azura sword cheese. These Azura sword cheese completely shattered the tang sabers. They simply could not get within half a meter of Jiang Feng. Azura path. Seeing this kind of skill, Yuqigong finally showed a surprised look. Oh. It seems like you have some knowledge. These books were not read in vain. Don't try to provoke me again. Yuchi Gong pushed up his glasses and looked at Jiang Feng again. Your intelligence system should have been updated. Otherwise, you would have run the moment you saw me. Jiang Feng had always been very confident. The Azura path was his trump card. As long as he had enough time, he believed that he could even defeat Li Fan. This time, Jiang Feng was also determined to defeat the Martial Emperor. He wanted to defeat the Martial Emperor and regain the government's trust. In addition, he also needed to obtain the complete 5 Emperor scripture from the Martial Emperor. This 5 Emperor scripture was not for him to practice. Jiang Feng wanted to use it to strengthen his subordinates. After obtaining this skill, Jiang Feng would then be able to lead his men to challenge the Martial Circle Convention. Then, he would win the Martial Circle Convention and obtain a page of the true immortal tactics. Only by learning the true immortal tactics could he break through the Azura path. But Yuchi Gong did have some skills. His body suddenly flashed and appeared next to Jiang Feng in the blink of an eye. At the same time, he punched at Jiang Feng's heart. Yuchi Gong's fist was extremely fast. Like lightning, it instantly focused on Jiang Feng's heart. Bang! Jiang Feng immediately slid back more than 3 meters, barely managing to stabilize himself. Amazing! Li Fan clapped his hands. That's a very good fish technique. As expected of the 5 guardians. Hey, hey, hey! Who are you cheering for? Jiang Feng did not know whether to laugh or cry. I think I'm on your side, right? That makes sense. Li Fan nodded. But I can't help but feel happy to see you get beaten up. Jiang Feng was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. He could only withdraw his gaze and return it to his opponent. Your fist technique is very fast. Not bad indeed. My martial arts are the best among the 5 protectors. Yuchi Gong pushed up his glasses. Although I'm usually in charge of the company's personnel management, don't underestimate my physical skills. As he spoke, he suddenly jumped over and swept his leg. Jiang Feng activated his shield of vigor to block in front of him. But it was destroyed by Yuchi Gong's kick, forcing Jiang Feng to take a few steps back. A fist technique that can break through shield of vigor. Not bad. Li Fan sat to the side and picked up a book. As he flipped through it, he casually said to Jiang Feng, his fists and feet are actually surrounded by sword chi. You should be careful. Then I really have to thank third brother for kindly reminding me. Jiang Feng looked grateful, but in his heart, he was very disdainful. Who could not tell? Li Fan had underestimated himself. You must be practicing the lost human murder weapon, right? Jiang Feng even mentioned Yuchi Gong's martial arts, which surprised Yuchi Gong. This commander of the Imperial Guards seemed to have some skill. Chapter 1482. Mortal Weapon was an ancient martial art that specialized in training one's physical skills and strengthening one's fists and legs. However, it took a lot of effort to cultivate this martial art, and the one who cultivated it had to pay the price with his life. Usually, when 10 disciples were trained together, it was already not easy for one to survive. The success rate was low, and the death rate was high. Therefore, this martial art was gradually forgotten by people. Jiang Feng did not expect to see another person who knew this martial art today. Let me, a mortal weapon, have a taste of your Shura demon. Yuchi Gong pushed up his glasses and disappeared from Jiang Feng's sight. When he reappeared, he was behind Jiang Feng. His leg swung down from the air, making a whistling sound as it went straight for the back of Jiang Feng's head. But in the next second, Yuchi Gong's kick actually split Jiang Feng in half. Yuchi Gong was not the least bit excited. Instead, his face was ashen. Still too slow. Jiang Feng appeared beside Yu Qigong out of nowhere and slapped him on the shoulder. Bang! Yu Qigong's body spun and flew out, crashing into the bookshelf next to him. Jiang Feng followed Yu Qigong like a shadow. Before Yu Qigong could react, Jiang Feng had already tapped his forehead with a finger. Get a good spot for your martial emperor. With that, Ashura sword chi pierced through Yu Qigong's forehead, ending his life. Too easy. Jiang Feng wiped his finger clean with Yu Qigong's polo shirt, then stood up and said to Li Fan, "We should be able to continue upstairs from here. Let's go." "You're ruthless." Li Fan frowned as he looked at Yu Qigong's body. He was lying there, his glasses broken, his pipe dropped to the side, and his expensive polo shirt stained with blood. This guy had looked like a knowledgeable scholar just a moment ago, but now he was lying there, quietly enjoying his eternal sleep. It was a little ironic. "I did it to help you. These people are vicious and evil. We must eliminate them." Jiang Feng, however, saw through Li Fan's thoughts at a glance. "Or, are you reluctant to do it? You don't have to worry about that. I'll take the next floor." The next level was against the 4 protectors, with Yu Shi overseeing. "I don't think that's a good idea. I'm afraid that you won't be able to do it if you meet someone you know." Jiang Feng reminded Li Fan, "It's time for you to change your indecisive character. If you don't make a decision, you'll only get yourself into trouble. I know what to do. I don't need you to remind me. I'm doing this for your own good. You have to understand my good intentions." "Then I really have to thank you. I'm so touched that tears are welling up in my eyes." Li Fan sneered back, then turned around and walked to the other side of the hall. He could not let Jiang Feng interfere in Yu Shi's matter. Little brother that never grows up. Jiang Feng didn't get angry. Instead, he smiled and followed behind Li Fan. They passed through the hall and continued up the stairs. There was only one internal elevator in front of them. Both of them were experts and were not afraid of traps, so they walked straight into the elevator. The elevator doors closed, and the lights on the 20th floor lit up. The Martial Emperor's hospitality is really thoughtful. Even I am a little touched. Jiang Feng looked at the monitor above his head and said hello. This guy is quite long-winded. Li Fan rolled his eyes. He put his hands in his pockets and continued to think about Yu Shi. The distance to the 10th floor was very short. The elevator door quickly opened, and in front of them was an empty martial arts field. There were all kinds of weapons around, and a one-eyed girl in black was standing in the middle of the hall like a statue. When Li Fan saw her, his heart sank slightly. Finally, they still met. Jiang Feng stood next to him with his arms crossed, as if he had made up his mind to watch the fun. "Do you want to fight me, Yu Shi?" Li Fan looked at the familiar woman in front of him and couldn't help asking the voice in his heart. Swish. Yu Shi didn't answer, but slowly pulled out her black saber. Li Fan sighed. It seemed that Yu Shi had answered him. Originally, Li Fan had a stomach full of questions to ask Yu Shi, but he was not the kind of man who didn't know how to behave, so he simply swallowed these words back into his stomach. It was better not to say them. Yu Shi's black saber flowed with a dense murderous aura. Under the unique internal energy she cultivated, this murderous aura seemed to have a shape. A huge black skeleton seemed to be staring at Li Fan and Jiang Feng behind Yu Shi, as if issuing a death notice to them. Third brother, as the saying goes, the king of Xiang is interested, but the goddess is heartless. You have to be careful, the other party is going to kill you. Jiang Feng reminded in Li Fan's ear. No matter what, Li Fan was a general who would follow him to fight against the martial emperor. He couldn't let anything happen to him for the time being, otherwise it would be very disadvantageous to his crusade. He didn't care about the 5 protectors and the 2 generals at all. But the martial emperor was indeed a good opponent. I know what I'm doing. Li Fan stood there and also gathered his internal energy. Retreat or die. Yushi suddenly threw out such a sentence. Li Fan smiled. Is this the first day you know me? In Little Tyrant's dictionary, there's never the word retreat. Yushi raised her saber and pointed the blade at Li Fan. Ha! The heartless saber is the heartless saber. Jiang Feng clapped his hands from the side. Third brother, you're going to suffer this time. While speaking, Yushi's gaze fell on Jiang Feng. She arrived in front of Jiang Feng in an instant. Jiang Feng, however, had a smile on his face, without the slightest bit of panic. Sure enough, in the next second, Li Fan blocked in front of Yushi, using his palms to block her path. Your opponent is me. Li Fan's palm wind was powerful, forcing Yushi to retreat. Jiang Feng, however, was well aware that Li Fan was clearly protecting Yushi and didn't want him to hurt her. Humph. Yushi took a few steps back, but with a backhand, she took off her blindfold. A strong aura was released from that single eye, pouring into her body. At the same time, a black skeleton appeared behind Yushi. Martial God True Body. Jiang Feng chuckled, you're lagging behind. The power of a half-saint martial God True Body was not weak. This skeleton also waved a huge black saber in his hand, slashing towards Li Fan's head. But Li Fan just stood there, letting the black saber slash on his shoulder. Li Fan's physical body was also extremely strong. The black saber slashed about 3 centimeters deep, then stopped. Why didn't you dodge? Yushi widened her eyes, looking at Li Fan. I owe you too much, this saber is to repay you. Li Fan's eyes were bright. Yushi, it's a pity that I'm not the one who met you first. You don't owe me anything. Yushi's ice-cold expression finally seemed to have some fluctuations. I won't force you. Li Fan smiled gently, I don't hate you. Wait until I kill the martial emperor, then I'll take you away. Chapter 1483. I won't let you touch him. Yushi's only eye is filled with tears, but she quickly wipes them away. I swear to be loyal to him. And, leave it to me. As Li Fan speaks, he stretches out his hand and grabs the black skeleton's huge black saber. He exerts force in his palm and actually forcibly breaks the black saber in half. Blood also spurts out from Li Fan's shoulder, but he immediately seals his blood vessels, allowing the wound to slowly heal. The black skeleton roars and holds the broken saber, seemingly wanting to stab Li Fan again. But Li Fan slashes out with a backhand chop. 130% power, Lightning Dragon Blast. A lightning saber immediately leaves his hand and instantly slashes the black skeleton's body, cutting it in half. The lightning saber doesn't stop, it cuts into the ceiling above them, breaking through 7 layers of walls in a row, and finally breaks through the outer wall of the building diagonally, flying into the air. This lightning saber spins in the air for at least 4,000 meters before slowly dissipating into the atmosphere. With the martial god True Body broken, a trace of blood drips from the corner of Yushi's mouth. She hesitates for a moment, then immediately raises her black saber. Even if her strength is damaged, she still wants to fight to the death against Li Fan. Li Fan stretches out his right hand and directly activates the dragon capture technique. Yushi's attack rhythm is suddenly disrupted. She feels as if someone is fiercely pulling her in front of Li Fan, and then Li Fan grabs the top of her head with one hand. Yushi is instantly frozen in place. She feels that all the meridians in her body are being controlled by a strange internal force, unable to break free, unable to resist. You rest for a while. After Li Fan uses the dragon capture technique to restrain Yushi, he immobilizes her body, making her temporarily unable to move. Don't go up. Yushi looks at Li Fan with a complicated expression. You are not his match. Whether it is or not, we will know once we go up. Li Fan smiled at Yushi. Wait for me here. After that, he directly led Jiang Feng to the direction of the elevator. If you don't kill her, you'll regret it. Jiang Feng said to Li Fan as he walked into the elevator. If you dare to touch her, I'll stick your head in the elevator door. Li Fan warned him. Alright, I won't touch her. Anyway, I'll be happy to see you suffer when the time comes. Jiang Feng no longer tried to persuade Li Fan. As long as he could kill a martial monarch, he did not care whether Li Fan would suffer a great loss or not. The elevator continued to rise and soon stopped at the 30th floor. The elevator door slowly opened, and a man in a black suit was sitting in front of the computer, busy with work. At the same time, he was talking on the phone with others about business matters. After Li Fan and the others came out, this brother first gestured to them to wait. Li Fan was not in a hurry, but Jiang Feng flicked his finger, and an Azura sword chi immediately flew out, directly piercing through the phone in the other party's hand. Director Bai, the decisive battle is imminent, let's put the business aside first. Jiang Feng chuckled, we're not idle people, why are you acting like a big boss in front of me? You just ruined a 30 million deal. Bai Liang let out a long sigh. Isn't it too willful, Commander Jiang? It's not easy to earn money, okay? You're about to lose your life, and you're still thinking about earning money. Jiang Feng laughed out loud, his finger flickered with a black and red radiance. The Azura sword chi could be activated at any time. I'll only give you 10 minutes. Bai Liang looked like a businessman, looked at his watch and said, you must know, my minute costs tens of millions, I don't have time to waste with you people. That's true. Jiang Feng nodded. He suddenly evolved into his Azura tiger form, pounced on Bai Liang, and tore his throat into pieces. Now you don't have to waste time. Jiang Feng said. It's already been a minute. Bai Liang stood on the other side, unharmed, and continued to look at his watch. You guys have to hurry, time is limited. Avatar. Jiang Feng glanced at Li Fan, and Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. It's impossible that I'm the only one with this ability, right? Avatar might be rare, but as long as one could cultivate a second Dantian, one could cultivate a second avatar. These 5 protectors all had the strength of a half-saint, so who knows which one of them would have a second avatar. I'm too busy with my work today, having an avatar to help me can improve my efficiency. Bai Liang said, and once again condensed his avatar. The 2 avatars stood side by side, looking at Jiang Feng and the others at the same time. 2 of me, both with the strength of a half-saint, together, wouldn't dealing with you be a piece of cake? There's only 7 minutes left. Jiang Feng looked at his phone. You still have time to say your last words. Don't worry, I won't give you 1 more minute. Bai Liang confidently tidied up his suit. After getting rid of you, I still have to go out to discuss business. What's the point of fighting and killing? Making money is fun. My battlefield is not the underworld, but the business world. My enemy is not you, but the martial emperor. Jiang Feng put on the appearance of an Azura tiger, and suddenly lay on the ground, like a real tiger. You're too weak. With a bounce of his feet, he ran like a gust of wind, almost leaving a black afterimage, and arrived in front of Bai Liang. Come. 2 Bai Liang, one standing on one leg, and the other squatting. The one standing on one leg took out a golden abacus, while the one squatting took out an iron scale. Good fellow, are you a CEO or a small shop owner on the street? Seeing his appearance, Jiang Feng's forehead was filled with black lines. Any CEO starts from a small business. And, after you go down, do your best to earn money for Hades. As Jiang Feng spoke, he had already rushed in front of Bai Liang. The two Bai Liangs each held their own weapons, and immediately attacked Jiang Feng. This golden abacus for defense, and the iron scale for attack, it was a good combination attack. From the looks of it, Jiang Feng seemed to be in danger. Looks like you won't be able to last 10 minutes. Bai Liang laughed, as if thinking that if he got rid of these two, he would be able to gain merit in front of the martial emperor. Is that so? Jiang Feng, who had been suppressed all this time, suddenly laughed. In this instant, 10 Azura tigers suddenly appeared around Bai Liang, surrounding him tightly. What? Bai Liang was shocked, as if he did not expect Jiang Feng to be able to split himself into 10. No, he is not an avatar, but an afterimage created because his speed is too fast. So fast. Without waiting for Bai Liang to react, Jiang Feng had already clawed at Bai Liang's chest. Chapter 1484. When Jiang Feng and Li Fan arrived at the 40th floor, Jiang Feng was still wiping his bloody hands. Just now, he had taken out Bai Liang's heart. How do you know that wasn't a doppelganger? As the elevator ascended, Li Fan couldn't help but ask. He was also a user of doppelganger, so he was quite sensitive to this question. This is my secret, third brother. Jiang Feng smiled mysteriously. If I tell you, what other trump card do I have to deal with you? Forget it if you don't want to say. Li Fan knew that he couldn't get any information out of Jiang Feng, so he gave up. But Jiang Feng took the initiative to tell him. Actually, it's nothing strange. Even the most perfect doppelganger will have a huge difference in aura from the original. For example, your aura is filled with a kind of easygoing. But your doppelganger is incomparably domineering. The reason is very simple. Your realm has improved, but your doppelganger can't imitate your realm. Instead, it's like a sharp sword. Just now, Director Bai was the same. No matter how lifelike his doppelganger is, it can't hide his killing intent. That's true. To put it bluntly, doppelganger is a type of weapon. Li Fan nodded. Fortunately, I already have a new technique for doppelganger. What new technique? Jiang Feng was a little surprised. You'll know. Li Fan began to deliberately mystify things, making Jiang Feng a little annoyed. What he hated the most was having information that he couldn't grasp. This Li Fan actually invented a new technique. Other than doppelganger, what else could the doppelganger be used? To be honest, Bai Liang's earlier doppelganger was already very good. It could be said to be a divine technique. Even if Li Fan was a genius, he couldn't possibly think of a more powerful technique, right? This made Jiang Feng curious. What secret was Li Fan hiding? Everyone had trained to the Saint tier, which was the peak state that a martial artist could reach. In order to break through this limit, Li Fan seemed to have practiced the true immortal technique, while he chose the Azura path and had the help of the Dragon God number 1. Right, could it be that the true immortal technique helped Li Fan create a new technique? After all, it was an immortal technique, so it was possible. Third brother, how's your practice of the true immortal technique? Jiang Feng seemed to mention it intentionally or unintentionally. Why does everyone think that the true immortal art is in my hands? Li Fan looked at Jiang Feng in confusion. Commander-in-Chief Jiang, you can be considered to be quick-witted, right? Why would even you think so? You captured the 9-tailed divine fox. Do you think anyone would believe you if you said you didn't cultivate the perfected immortal art? It doesn't matter, but Li Fan, believe me. Besides, Feng, and Feng, Even though he had unintentionally practiced a set of Star Luo's supreme skill that was modified from the 9 Buddha Sutra, he had never used it much. Later on, it was taken away by Murong. Li Fan had this arrogance. This was also his pride. Regardless of whether you admit it or not, I must obtain this perfected celestial art. Jiang Feng spoke first. It was unknown whether he was reminding Li Fan or warning him. Then I wish you success. The elevator also stopped, and Li Fan continued, this round, it's my turn. It's the king's gift this time, right? Jiang Feng had some understanding of this person. The former commander of the embroidered uniform guard can be considered my senior. It's fine if you want to compete with him. I can give the opportunity to you. Li Fan said modestly. How could I steal this chance from you? Jiang Feng didn't fall for it. You and Wang Jian probably have a lot to talk about. We're old acquaintances, so don't mind me. Just talk about whatever you want to talk about. Then I really have to thank you. The two of them kept chatting, and then they watched the elevator door open. What appeared in front of them was actually a large indoor garden. The entire 40th floor was filled with flowers and plants. Those who didn't know would think that they had come to a paradise. And among these flowers and plants, there was a pink round bed. A coquettish man wearing a purple robe embroidered with red flowers was lying on the bed, holding an embroidery needle in his hand, doing embroidery. Damn, Invincible East. As soon as he entered, Li Fan couldn't help but roll his eyes. Is this Wang Jian really addicted to being a eunuch? You're here. Wang Jian greeted them, come in quickly. Remember not to step on other people's flowers and plants. Wang Jian, we're all old friends. Don't be deliberately mystifying. Let's fight. Li Fan was quite impatient, I don't have time to waste with you. What's the hurry? I'm doing embroidery for you. Wang Jian looked at Li Fan with a flirtatious look. What do you like to embroider on your robe? Rose? Mandarin duck? Or true dragon? It seems like he's your admirer. Jiang Feng gave Li Fan an ambiguous look, causing Li Fan to roll his eyes. Wang Jian, aren't you afraid that the martial emperor will blame you for treating me like this? I'm naturally loyal to His Majesty, so I can only help you make a shroud. At least I can bury you personally. Damn, Li Fan was a little speechless. This Wang Jian was close to a mental illness. You guys are quite sweet. I'm very envious. Jiang Feng said from the side. At this moment, Jiang Feng suddenly frowned and then tilted his head. Clang! A flying needle suddenly flew over, brushed past Jiang Feng's cheek, and pierced the elevator door behind him. A needle had actually been inserted into the iron door of the elevator. You're not allowed to say bad things about Li Fan. Next time, I'll shoot your mouth. Wang Jian's attitude toward Jiang Feng suddenly became strict. Hee, that depends on whether you have the ability or not. Although Jiang Feng said so, his heart sank for a moment. That needle was so powerful that he almost didn't react in time. Moreover, he noticed that Wang Jian didn't seem to use his full strength. What kind of strength did this Wang Jian have? Could it be that he has also reached the martial saint realm? Impossible. If he was a martial saint, the other martial saint experts would definitely be able to sense each other's existence. In this building, the only martial saint that could be sensed were Li Fan and the martial emperor. A martial fighter with the strength of a half-step martial saint could actually have such martial arts. Wang Jian, your martial arts seems to have improved again. Did you really learn from Invincible East? If you want to understand me, come and talk on the bed. Wang Jian affectionately patted the bed next to him. There's still a lot of space. Come on. I'll just kill you. Li Fan's face was full of black lines. This Wang Jian's degree of abnormality was 5 stars. Don't be shy. Come on, I've learned massage. I promise I'll make you comfortable. Chapter 1485. Why don't I help you? Jiang Feng took the initiative to request, he probably couldn't stand it anymore. I'll do it myself. Li Fan was also very speechless. Wang Zui's abnormal level was already beyond imagination, and ordinary people couldn't afford to mess with him. Furthermore, it wasn't suitable to waste time with him here. Yushi below could recover her strength at any time. In fact, Li Fan and Jiang Feng could also choose to attack the Martial Emperor from the roof, but the two of them felt that it would be better to eliminate all of the Martial Emperor's forces, so as to avoid future troubles. With the pride of the Martial Emperor, he indeed sent his subordinates to block Li Fan and the others one by one. That's right, come and enjoy our world. Wang Zui hooked his finger. His eyes were painted with purple eyeliner and black eyeshadow. He bit his lips very red, as if he had eaten a child, making him look exceptionally flirtatious. If a woman were to dress like this, it would at most make people feel that she was too mature and sociopathic. But for a man to do this, it was a little disgusting. I'll let you enjoy it. As Li Fan spoke, he stretched out his hand and directly used his inner force to compress a 3-foot-long sword. Then, he stepped on the flowers and moved like the wind. He quickly arrived in front of Wang Zhang and stabbed the sword towards Wang Zhang's forehead. Azure Dragon Point Water. Li Fan's sword arrived in front of Wang Zui's forehead, but Wang Zui raised his hand, holding an embroidery needle in his fingers, and directly picked up Li Fan's sword. With a clang, Li Fan's sword was actually knocked away. Wang Zui's martial arts were a little strange. His needle carried a special kind of force, and it deflected Li Fan's attack. Ha! Even Jiang Feng couldn't help but be surprised. He knew about Li Fan's dragon-subduing sword. This sword technique was already close to being a divine skill, it was extremely powerful. However, Li Fan's sword actually failed. Wang Zui's martial arts seemed to be a little strange. My enemy, don't underestimate me. As Wang Zui spoke, he grabbed the long needle in his hand and pierced it towards Li Fan's Tanzhong acupoint. Although they were talking about loving each other, the king did not hold back at all. The Tanzhong acupoint was a person's Achilles heel. If it was pierced, Li Fan could retire early and return to his hometown. However, Li Fan was Li Fan. Although Wang Zhang's kung fu was strange, he flicked his finger and directly hit Wang Zhang's wrist. After all, Wang Zai was just a half-step saint. How could he withstand this kind of power? His wrist was directly flicked away. Li Fan's sword went straight for Wang Zhang's heart. Wang Jian's other hand was also holding a long needle, countering Li Fan's moves. Dang dang dang. The two of them exchanged more than 10 moves in an instant, and their speed was extremely fast. Little sweetheart, are you scared by me? As Wang Jian attacked, he winked and said, as long as you're willing to surrender, I can plead with His Majesty to let you stay with us and give you an idle job. What do you think? At that time, I'll talk to Yushi, and the two sisters will serve you together. What do you think? Serve your sister. Li Fan's heart was about to collapse. This Wang Jian was really shameless. He just blurted it out. He casually stabbed his sword at Wang Zhang's wrist. When Li Fan practiced the dragon-subduing sword to this level, he had long since surpassed the realm of having no moves. He didn't have any moves. He stabbed wherever he wanted, making it impossible for others to comprehend this sword technique. Naturally, they wouldn't have the opportunity to counter his moves. Wang Zhang was also taken aback when he saw Li Fan casually thrust out his sword. He originally thought that he had comprehended the dragon-subduing sword according to the information he obtained. However, Li Fan's casual stab made him somewhat at a loss. Puff! Li Fan's sword left a wound on Wang Zheng's wrist. Wang Zheng immediately poked a few of his acupoints and sealed the wound. Chief Steward Wang, you really are an expert in information. Li Fan held his long sword and stepped on the flower pot shelf beside him. He looked at Wang Zheng and laughed. I'm afraid the commander of the Brocade clan guards that I looked up to will die under my sword today. Little sweetheart, your growth is indeed very fast. It's even faster than I expected. Wang Zheng wasn't in a hurry to attack. Instead, he happily chatted with Li Fan. I actually had many opportunities to kill you back then. The reason why I spared your life was because His Majesty fancied you. Fuck, is he gay like you? Li Fan felt his anus tighten. You're making fun of me again. Of course not. Wang Zheng pinched his thumb and middle finger and looked aggrieved. I'm a girl. I don't have the filthy thing of a man. Don't misunderstand me. Li Fan was speechless. As for His Majesty, he suffered some internal injuries in his early years, so his body can't reach its peak. Therefore, under Miracle Dr. Shue's suggestion, His Majesty decided to use the brain replacement method to change into a more suitable and younger body. So, you guys fancied me. Li Fan finally understood. So this was what these guys were planning. Yes. You guys are crazy. Brain replacement. How is that possible? Li Fan couldn't believe it at all. You don't have to worry about that. We've already succeeded once. Wang Zheng seemed to be a little proud. What? Li Fan and Jiang Feng were shocked at the same time. They looked at each other in disbelief. Unfortunately, that person's body wasn't perfect. Therefore, His Majesty didn't last long. Therefore, this time, we're looking for a perfect body. Sweetheart, your body is indeed not bad. His Majesty is very satisfied with you. So, His Majesty is also very happy that I'm here today. Yes, but it's better if you're willing to be a vessel. However, if you can't, your body might be injured if we use force. That was the case with the last person. Therefore, we're going to use a soft policy this time. If you can agree, that would be great. Am I crazy? Using my own death to exchange for His Majesty's pleasure. Li Fan sneered. How was that possible? It's your honor. Wang Zheng looked at Li Fan excitedly. To be able to be a part of His Majesty, is there anything more glorious than this? Glory my ass, go die. Li Fan's hand trembled as his sword stabbed diagonally. Wang Zheng hurriedly handed over the long needle, wanting to block Li Fan's attack again. However, Li Fan's sword was faster and directly stabbed into Wang Zheng's shoulder. Blood spurted out. Wang Zheng endured the pain and directly threw out 2 flying needles towards Li Fan's eyes. However, Li Fan's other hand directly used the mystical dragon drinking water and sucked the 2 flying needles into his hand. Then, he raised the sword in his other hand and stabbed 7 or 8 times in Wang Zheng's face. Each of the swords landed on Wang Zheng's vital points. Wang Zheng was seriously injured and didn't dare to fight with Li Fan again. He slapped the mattress under him and flew backward. In the blink of an eye, he slid 3 or 4 meters away and fell into the grass at the side. Blood flowed down and dyed the flowers and plants on the ground red. It looked very demonic. Chapter 1486. Li Fan stood on the bed and looked at the somewhat dispirited Wang Zui. After suffering from Li Fan's sword, no matter how powerful Wang Zui is, he doesn't have the abnormal recovery ability of Li Fan and Jiang Feng. Wang Zui, I am not anyone's vessel. Li Fan emphasized, I am me, Li Fan. With that, Li Fan's body turned into an afterimage and instantly appeared in front of Wang Zui. Wang Zui didn't expect Li Fan to be so fast and was slightly flustered. But he grabbed 2 flying needles with both hands and threw them towards Li Fan's eyes. Li Fan once again used Black Dragon drinking water and sucked the 2 flying needles. But at this time, the 2 flying needles suddenly exploded and thousands of small needles flew out like explosives. But Li Fan wrapped his hand with Yuan Qi, causing Li Fan's hand to be pierced by many small needles. An intense pain began to spread from Li Fan's hand, causing his hand to tremble. Poison. Li Fan used Yuan Qi to stabilize his hand while continuing to move forward and stabbed 18 times in one breath. PFFF, PFFF, PFFF. Wang Zui's body was immediately filled with countless wounds. Blood flowed out from the wounds, robbing his strength. Wait! Wang Zui's confidence and coquettishness had disappeared, only fear was left on his face. Don't kill me, only I can detoxify the poison in your hand. Li Fan's sword had already pierced through his throat, taking his life. Is the poison in your hand detoxified? Jiang Feng raised his eyebrows and asked. Humph, Li Fan waved his sword and directly cut off his left hand. But nano-tentacles flew out from his wound and pierced into Wang Zui's body, disintegrating him. As if it was absorbing nutrients, Li Fan's left hand recovered once again, as if it was reborn. Although Jiang Feng accepted the Azura Path's evil spirit, he couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva when he saw this strange scene. I feel that your left hand is probably a pervert. Jiang Feng's sudden words made Li Fan speechless for a long time. He purposely did this in front of Jiang Feng to intimidate him. His ability was almost unkillable. But who would have thought that it would attract such a ridicule, and it seemed to be quite true. However, what was abnormal was Wang Jian's personality. His physical body should be fine. There's only one left, right? Chief Protector Qin Chaoran. I heard that he is a mysterious expert. I don't know much about his martial arts. The two of them chatted as they got into the elevator. After I beat him up, I should be able to see Tai Bai Jinxing and Tai Bai Yinxing. These two are known as the left and right generals of the martial monarchs. I wonder how strong they are. He's just a half-saint. What's there to fear? Jiang Feng chuckled. Why don't you stay behind and deal with Qin Chaoran? I'll jump up from the window and cripple those two. After all, this is the enemy's headquarters. If we split up, it'll be easy for us to be defeated one by one. Li Fan was even more cautious than Jiang Feng. The dignified little overlord is actually so timid. Jiang Feng couldn't help but sneer. I'm here to save people, not to have fun. Li Fan reminded Jiang Feng, haven't you heard of this saying? Develop wretchedly, don't have fun. It's fine if you develop alone. I still want to go up directly. Jiang Feng didn't give Li Fan a chance to choose. When the elevator door opened, his figure rushed out, directly broke through the glass at the side and jumped out. The short man opposite was dumbfounded. What's the situation? Ignore him. Li Fan was also speechless. Your opponent is me. Little Overlord Li Fan, right? Don't start a fight. Come, you must be hungry. Eat something. The short man was wearing a chef's clothes. He pointed to the back. Behind him were tables covered with white tablecloths. There were all kinds of delicacies placed on them. Enjoy to your heart's content. These are all my handiwork. Qin Chaoran. Chef. Li Fan was a little surprised. These 5 protectors really had all kinds of professions. People are made of iron and rice is made of steel. If I don't eat, I will be starving. Qin Chaoran's attitude was very gentle. Although you are an enemy, since you are here, we can't treat you poorly. Come, please enjoy your delicacies. Qin Chaoran pointed to the several tables behind him that were filled with delicacies. Looking at so many delicacies and smelling that tempting fragrance, Li Fan's index finger was really moved. Don't worry, there's no poison. Qin Chaoran specially emphasized, we will not do that kind of despicable thing. I'm in a hurry. I don't have time to eat. How could Li Fan have the time to enjoy the delicacies here? He had to quickly get rid of the martial emperor. You still have to pass through me first. We are all martial artists, so let's respect each other, okay? Qin Chaoran gave Li Fan another challenge. As long as you can finish my 18 dishes in 10 minutes, I will let you pass. Isn't it faster if I kill you? Li Fan asked. I am just a martial artist at the perfection level. If you think it's fair, then come. Qin Chaoran stood there with his arms open, as if he was welcoming death. Li Fan really hesitated. Although he had a good grasp of the big picture, he still had the basic pride of a martial artist. He was a saint-rank expert. To compete with someone at the perfection level. It was really shameful. Have you thought about it? Qin Chaoran continued to ask, the choice is yours. I will not force you. Hurry up. I am in a hurry. Li Fan sat in front of the table. Okay. Qin Chaoran clapped his hands. A few waiters pushed out a few dining carts and placed them in front of Li Fan. These 18 dishes are all made using a special method. Qin Chaoran opened the first dish. The first dish is called steamed poisonous scorpion. Li Fan glanced at the scorpions that were steamed red and was a little speechless. You still have the cheek to say that it is not poisonous. Of course. These scorpions were cooked by me personally. The poison has long been removed. Qin Chaoran said with a smile, every one of these 18 dishes is a great supplement. However, the supplement is a little too strong. Ordinary people would not be able to endure it. He pointed at the 18 dishes in front of him. Ordinary people would not be able to endure it after eating the third dish. Little tyrant Li Fan, can you endure until the last dish? Come. Li Fan had never been afraid of a challenge. With a wave of his hand, the steamed poisonous scorpion was placed in front of Li Fan. The essence of this dish is at the tail. Qin Chaoran pointed at the tail of the scorpion, please enjoy. And, the most poisonous part of a scorpion's tail and wasp's sting can actually be eaten. Li Fan was quite daring. He picked up his chopsticks and began to taste the steamed poisonous scorpion. The scorpion had already been cut and was just pieced together. Li Fan picked up a piece and placed it in his mouth. All the hair on his body immediately stood up. Chapter 1487. Li Fan had 4 beautiful sword maids. These 4 sword maids were proficient in different skills. Chun was good at disguise, Xia was good at medicine, Chiao was good at cooking, and Dong was good at martial arts. Chiao was in charge of Li Fan's food. After a long time, Li Fan's mouth had been spoiled by Chiao. To him, these ordinary delicacies were like chewing wax. Li Fan even felt that without Chiao, he might not be able to live. But who would have thought that he would meet a chef called Qin Chaoran in this martial emperor's territory? With his food, he challenged Li Fan's taste buds again. It was simply too delicious. The scorpion meat melted in his mouth. It made Li Fan forget that he was eating scorpions, but dragon meat from the sky. After taking a bite, Li Fan could not stop eating and quickly took a second bite. Qin Chaoran's food seemed to have this kind of charm. It made Li Fan unable to stop eating. He only wanted to eat to his heart's content. Almost in the blink of an eye, Li Fan ate the first plate. a total of 3 poisonous scorpions. Just like what Qin Chaoran said, the meat on the scorpion's tail was the most tender. Li Fan ate it like a god. Quick, next dish. Li Fan was addicted to eating. His eyes lit up as he stared at the second plate. Delicious, right? Qin Chaoran smiled proudly. I am very confident in my cooking skills. Yes, I am surprised. Quick, next dish. Qin Chaoran sneered in his heart at Li Fan's impatient look. Every dish was very nourishing. After eating the first dish, Li Fan should feel the inner energy in his body surging and it was very comfortable. But after eating 3 dishes, the nourishment would be too much. At that time, even if he was a god, he would not be able to withstand such a strong nourishment. A person's dantian had a limit. This Li Fan's dantian would probably explode in less than 5 dishes. Although I, Qin Chaoran, am not good at martial arts, I can use food to defeat you. Qin Chaoran clapped his hands, and the waiter beside him immediately served the second dish and slowly opened the lid. The fragrance that assaulted his nostrils was like a small hand, hooking onto Li Fan's heart. Li Fan took a closer look and found that the dish was much simpler. It was a braised bear paw. However, this should also be wild game, which was prohibited by the country. Today, it could be said that he had made an exception. However, although it looked like an ordinary bear paw, Qin Chaoran had a unique cooking method that made Li Fan salivate just by smelling it. Qin Chaoran briefly introduced his cooking techniques. Li Fan listened in a daze. He couldn't help but pick up a piece of meat with his chopsticks and put it in his mouth. The moment it entered his mouth, Li Fan felt a sense of satisfaction and happiness. What the fuck? How could this dish be so awesome? How did Qin Chaoran cook? According to Qin Chaoran, other than the special cooking method, he also used a lot of secret ingredients and sauces. After eating 2 dishes in a row, Li Fan was still unsatisfied and almost forgot about the proper business. Moreover, after eating these 2 dishes, Li Fan felt warm in his stomach. It seemed that he had indeed replenished a lot of inner force, and his meridians were very comfortable. This dish was delicious and could replenish inner force. It was really amazing. Next is the third dish. Qin Chaoran introduced a new dish. Li Fan looked at it for a long time but couldn't figure out what it was. What is this? Placenta. Qin Chaoran said calmly, but Li Fan was stunned. What the fuck, isn't that the placenta? I heard that Guangzhou people can eat this thing. Li Fan had never enjoyed it before. This dish is also a great supplement. Mr. Li, please have a good taste. Under Qin Chaoran's expectant gaze, Li Fan began to eat the legendary placenta for the first time. Under Qin Chaoran's craftsmanship, the fishy smell of this thing was completely removed. What was left was an indescribable taste. It melted in the mouth and was delicious to the extreme. Such a strong taste could also be cooked so delicious. Li Fan admired Qin Chaoran to the extreme. After eating the third dish, Li Fan felt as if a ball of fire was ignited in his lower abdomen, burning continuously. However, his dantian had already formed a Tai Chi diagram and was constantly rotating. The energy absorbed from this dish was slowly absorbed by the Tai Chi diagram and then transformed into energy that nourished Li Fan's body. Do you feel anything? Seeing that Li Fan had finished eating the third dish, Qin Chaoran hurriedly asked. It's delicious. Continue. Li Fan licked his lips. Alright, Qin Chaoran admired Li Fan a little. This little tyrant is indeed strong. I reckon that the capacity of his dantian is also higher than that of ordinary people. There was nothing unusual after eating 3 dishes, but he reckoned that he would be finished after eating 6 dishes. The lethality of these 18 dishes was unquestionable. Even Her Majesty Empress Wu couldn't eat more than 10 dishes. I've eaten a lot of meat dishes. Eat some vegetables to cool down. Qin Chaoran placed a plate of meticulously cooked lotus slices in front of Li Fan. Just nice. The combination of meat and vegetables is nutritionally balanced. Li Fan ate happily. In any case, Qin Chaoran's dishes were indeed delicious. In any case, there was Jiang Feng's guide upstairs. He just had to concentrate on eating. An ordinary vegetable dish, under Qin Chaoran's craftsmanship, was actually more delicious than meat. If there was a star rating function, Li Fan would definitely give Qin Chaoran 5 stars. I strongly recommend it. It's really delicious. Once Li Fan started eating, he couldn't stop, and he had already smoothly eaten the 8th dish. It's delicious. Quickly give me the next dish. Li Fan began to urge, but Qin Chaoran was a little depressed. He had already eaten 8 dishes. Why is he still fine? The 9th dish is venison. It's made from a newborn deer. Although it was a little cruel, Li Fan couldn't help but want to try it. After all, Qin Chaoran's craftsmanship was there. He couldn't stop eating even if he didn't want to. Li Fan believed that even if it was a pile of shit, Qin Chaoran could still make a great flavor. However, he wouldn't eat that thing even if he was beaten to death. Not even if it was delicious. This was a matter of principle. Li Fan continued to eat 3 dishes in one go. In the blink of an eye, he had eaten the 11th dish of hairy crab. Cold sweat appeared on Qin Chaoran's forehead. What was this situation? After eating so many dishes, he still couldn't handle him. What was his dantian made of? Was it a bottomless pit? He ate 11 dishes in a row, yet he was still fine. Your dantian doesn't feel uncomfortable? It's quite comfortable. Li Fan praised, there's a special feeling of fullness. Your medicinal cuisine is quite amazing. Then please continue. Qin Chaoran had no choice but to continue to serve the dishes. Li Fan's mouth couldn't stop and continued to eat. He ate a few more dishes in one go. He ate until the 17th dish. There was only roasted suckling pig left. When this plate of roasted suckling pig was placed in front of Li Fan really started to drool. Qin Chaoran shed tears. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.